Okay, that scene didn't switch. Can you tell it's been a while? Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? Welcome back to another Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. My name is Midgeman, and I'm going to be your chronicler, your game master for this evening. If you're new here, welcome. You're in for a treat, because normally when we don't do a show for a while, we get the zoomies, and nobody can keep on track. Like last time we stopped and didn't do a game for a while, we ended up making onion soup for a while. Things happen on this show. Either way, before we get on with tonight's broadcast, we do need to cover a few things. First of all, I need to do a quick shout out for the wonderful Beth Dillingham, who GM'd a one-shot in my place. You can see her in the corner. Our resident Ruby, our gem. She does Cyberpunk one-shot. That is now up on the archive on YouTube and on Twitch, so definitely go check it out. It's a fun little adventure. I'm halfway through it myself, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. The many players from this game were involved, as well as some new faces who you might see around more in the future. Who knows? Other than that, we have a couple of other things just to thank and plug. One of the things we want to plug, though, is our Patreon, which has been recently revitalized and is getting content every week at this point. Guys, Patreon is the best way to support this show. It allows us to get the lion's share of any donation that or regular subscription towards the show, and it allows us to better plan for our future as the Component Cast. Already, we are halfway funded to producing a whole string of new content, and yeah, it's the best way. For more information, check out the panels or the description, or join us on Discord and have a discussion with us. Patrons also get access to a secret area on the Discord where they get updates and stuff about production, as well as some behind-the-scenes stuff on Patreon itself. So, doubly check it out. Other than that, thank you to Syrinscape for allowing us to send music to all of my players across the board. Without Syrinscape, I wouldn't be able to make this show happen, and you can check out Syrinscape for free on the App Store or online. You can download it. They've got some sound sets to get you started for free, and then you can pay or take a monthly subscription if you, like me, want to use the online player and other factors. They're wonderful people, panels and everything. I'm all hot and flustered. It's very hot here in the UK today and all over Europe, so some of us are just like, dying. But without further ado, let's get on with tonight's broadcast. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was talking production stuff and got sidetracked. There's something else we forgot to cover right in that intro, which is we have some lovely new art for our latest permanent member. Yes, we finally got Ghibli's character Zedaar fully arted by our wonderful artist for this show, Dibujor, who takes all of our inspiration and actually makes these characters look amazing. Not to be confused with also the wonderful artist that did our Season 2 poster. But Dib has done some fantastic work this time. We're about to share it on Twitter, so you can take a look. Patrons had some early access and saw this last week when it was completed. And the cast members saw it 10 minutes ago because I forgot to show it to them. But Dib, again, done a fantastic job, and he is open for commission, so do definitely check them out. But yeah, we got some Zedaar art, which you will also see in-game now. I'm also on the wrong scene. Let's bring everyone in. There we go. Look at that. I'm not used to having 7 people. So, without further ado, who would like to do the recap this week?
Long live the king!
Go ahead, Beth. Go on, do it.
A fantastic battle in which we were all exceptionally well placed and well prepared for. Nothing went wrong, and we defended the king without a hitch. He didn't come anywhere near getting... no, it was a shit show, obviously.
Hey. I did really well. I stole someone's roles.
That's true. That's true.
Very true.
Yeah.
We managed to, albeit barely, save the king from the assassination attempt due to some well-placed casting. I would say mostly from Zedaar banishing the king, which turned out he was a little salty about later, but he'll get over it. He lived. We rescued him. He went off to go do kingly stuff, and we started to investigate how these guys got in here. And it turns out, nobody expects the Inquisition when they're sneaking through a tunnel, because it was a secret tunnel in a casket, I believe, or a sarcophagus or crypt. I don't.
Mausoleum or something.
Yeah, it was downstairs in the basement.
It was in a sarcophagus within the catacombs of the church.
Yes, which led outside, and we tracked it down. Big critter, lots of drow. Not really sure where they came from, but that's how they got in. And I think it's more or less where we left off.
Correct. With the forest breaking and you being left to open fields and the tracks going relatively cold, you were deciding whether to continue your pursuit or turn back.
Yes.
I believe we did decide we're going to fall back because the last thing that happened is we came to the realization that it seems like the 2 individuals who, got out of Dodge did so the second they realized we were here to interfere, as if their importance in not dealing with us was greater than the king being assassinated. And once we realized that, it's like, you know what? They've clearly been gone a while. There's no point chasing them down. Let's just get a good night's rest and finish what we started. Make sure nothing else happens to the king for the foreseeable future.
To that
if I
end,
remember correctly, we also figured out that that the animals that they're riding might leave a trail of missing cattle that we could try and track in the nearby area, because they need to feed on something of sufficient size, and that's what we arrived to as an
But
option. So that's something we can be on the lookout in the future.
But to that
Well,
end,
we
I think
also
we
know-
should make sure the king gets to where he's supposed to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not discounting that. I'm saying that that's something we should also remember was a revelation that we got to.
Siraj, you
We
were
also
saying.
know that they're 6-footed lizards that come from the Underdark. So if we figure out how to get there, not that it's a huge place and it won't be hard to find them in the Underdark, but
Right, the Underdark's nothing to worry about. It's totally, yeah, nothing to worry about. You guys will be fine.
Right. Well, it has been a long day. Let us check last on the king one more time, and then let's take a well under it, I think.
Yes, I agree.
Tomorrow, we can speak with the dead bodies to see if there's more information we can find out about those who escaped.
Okay. So,
Where's the airship at the moment?
it would have been relatively near the church, as you essentially deep striked yourself in.
Right.
Remember?
That's true. Yep.
So it would have been probably in a holding pattern near the church. So actually, as you've exited the forest, the surrounding land of the cathedral, you can look back, and it's slightly on a hill. So you do see above you can just see the top of the steeple, and on the steeple you see floating near it your airship.
I can bring the airship here and we can stay on it this evening. It would be a little bit more comfortable.
Yes, I still want to make sure the king is where he needs to be first.
We could transport him there on the ship.
Has he already
But I
departed
just
back? He's already
said-
departed back to Ate, I believe.
I just want to sleep in the castle. I do not understand why the king thought that this was such an odd request. Clearly, he is not safe there.
So,
One way or the other, this is his decision to make.
are you heading back to the cathedral, or is the skyship coming to you?
I thought the king already departed back to Ate, correct?
No, he was being
Still in the cathedral?
Yeah, they were now that the attack had happened, they were securing the cathedral and securing him there until transport could arrive.
Right, so I think we should go back to the cathedral and wait for the skyship there.
The skyship's at the cathedral, so
Huh, that's where we're going then. I think, anyway.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
okay.
Okay.
Off
Then
we
I will
go.
lift up my lapel and say, "Hey, Marcus, can you land the skyship so we can board?"
Copy that, Captain. But you progress back through the forest. It took you about an hour to get through, if I remember correctly. You spent about an hour of tracking, and so roughly the same back because it's thick and not very well kept on this side of things. And you found out that the people that you're in pursuit of in particular didn't necessarily go through beaten tracks. Their beast of burden could climb very, very well. Either way, you continue back through and again pass the corpses, back through the Undercroft, and come up beneath the statue again. Many more guards are here than before, and actually you noticed a few guards looking and investigating the Undercroft too, and securing it. And you see the queen being tended to by either a cleric or apothecary. The king is in full armor now. It's also middle of the night, so there are, it's getting really quite late now.
Your Majesty. Ruby will bow and speak in Fionian.
Welcome back. Did you find anything?
She will then speak in Common if he understands it. I'm assuming he speaks Common.
The king speaks common, yeah.
Okay.
You've heard him speak common.
Okay. Yes, we tracked them as well as we could for some time. It seems they traveled off into the woods. And we lost track of it there. They were on some sort of beast or burden that was able to navigate the difficult terrain with relative ease.
It is a shame. But I did not know that excluding factors would know about such a historical entrance to the cathedral. It's not something we signpost.
It appeared that they had been torturing the caretakers.
He sighs. That is most unfortunate.
I believe the priest and their son, if my notes are correct.
The deacon, I believe, was the one you found, who is not a priest, but a member of the clergy who is essentially caretaker of the grounds, administrator of the grounds, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that they don't necessarily have to have gone through ecclesiastical schooling, but they are faithful normally.
Them and their son, I believe, were both tortured and killed. Missing faces.
Yes, correct. Remy updated me on what you found.
With your leave, your liege, we would like to speak with the dead via use of some nominal magic to see if we could find out more about these attempted assassins that had already escaped.
Ooh, I wrote that on the wrong PC, but okay. It's a good religion check, so even that roll is not too bad. If you are going to ask anybody, maybe try the son rather than the father. They both subscribe to the faith of the law singer Caphriel, and it is against their beliefs to be forthcoming with information in that sort of manner. It is well doctrined that they should resist should that kind of spell be used on them. It is against their beliefs.
That might complicate things, to be sure.
I believe the son was not as faithful as his father, though.
I suppose we shall see in the morning.
My liege, we had intended on using our skyship as a manner of security. I don't know what your plans are, but if you were able to join us, you might find it more accommodating than a long walk back to Ate in the dark.
I will not be walking. They are getting a fully armed caravan to get me on the short jaunt. But you can't go that way. There's a table in the way, George. Sorry, cat trouble. Trying to unplug my headphones. My protection is well put forward. The opening for them to attack me has well and truly passed.
Of course. Then if I might inquire, what are your plans now?
Continue as I was. I will be finishing up here in Ate. I will be then continuing my tour of the military as planned.
Knowing full well that the Duke of Ate intended to lead a coup against you.
Whilst I believe you, I only have your word.
You have all of our words, and I will submit to any form of truthing magic required to verify that authenticity. My words.
Yes, but the word of one possibly future countess is going to take a lot more to shake the voting nobility, especially if your father and the Duke have already lined themselves up to be my successor. I must continue to act and take far less of my own wishes into account.
Ruby at this point looks very visibly frustrated.
The only way that we can attempt to stop this coup without looking at like we are trying to orchestrate the succession ourselves is to confront them in front of all of the nobility. And there is a perfect time for that at the end of my military tour.
How long?
Depends how long it takes me to travel the coastline. I think about 2 weeks. At the end of the tour, once I know all of the men are stationed, provisioned for, and know their orders, all of the nobility will be redirected to my camp, where we will have an open war council of all the nobility. It is also a fantastic time to bring ahead this sort of grievance and bring out any evidence, as it would be a place where our allies and those who are in between would have to make a choice.
You're suggesting that we should be collecting evidence for the next 2 weeks.
Unless you think you have enough evidence now, but I do not feel a group of adventurers, even if you are established as you are, will overthrow the weight of a duke of such noble birth who is already aligned to be my heir. It is how did the common tradesman say it? It is a hard sell.
Yeah, good.
Then perhaps if we could have some sort of writ that would allow us to investigate without being impeded by the authorities.
He goes into his breastplate. Here is a mark of warrant for the Kingdom of Offray. This says that you are in service of the king. However, like anything, loyalties are going to still play a major factor. But those loyal to me will definitely listen to this.
She will nod and look to the others. Is there anything else you wish to discuss with him?
I would like to have been speaking to the queen while you were talking to the
Absolutely, you can
Sure.
have gone and done that.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
king.
What would you like to say?
My grace, I am sorry that we have failed you. How are you after your brush with death?
Very small.
I am better now. As she nods to the cleric to walk away. I knew something like this would happen to my husband, and me and his sister have been working tirelessly to stop it, to not impede on the kingdom, but now it seems even with our trying, it's still come crashing to it. But I am so thankful that you and your friends and your other allies managed to at least get this far and protect us when we needed it most.
You had mentioned that your husband does not listen to your counsel in regards to your safety. Perhaps you will not accompany him on his journey when he goes to visit the army. I worry for your safety.
I myself I will be taking to the countryside to one of our villas to rest and recuperate following this attack, but his sister will remain with him. And actually, on that, you notice her look towards the door, and you see a female individual who was not here when you first, when the guards first arrived. Seems to have come up with another contingent. She has like silvery purple hair, like light silvery purple hair, full, almost like platinum looking plate mail, and a purple cloak. She has what seems to be a two-handed mace slung over one shoulder, and is like pointing and directing multiple royal guards. And she also has a like a holy symbol etched into the plate body of give me a quick religion check. See actually if you know who this is.
Well, I don't know a lot about the Gads.
A 13's enough for this because it's very common in our way. This is the holy symbol of Lathander, the Morning Lord. And she is a far better fighter than I am. Pointing her out.
Perhaps you will take this time to reflect upon the people which you rule over. The attack that happened to you is very unfortunate, but you were able to survive. Many of the common folk go through violence like this all of the time, especially your soldiers who you send to war. I request that you consider perhaps trying to make peace within your realm.
I'm sure my husband will be working to make as much peace as possible in a time of all-out war. I can only hope that me and the people see the other side of the war. Arthray is not... In terms of the Kingdom of the Natafel, we are one of the more prosperous and one of the more peaceful as of many years. And it pains me a lot to see us threatened from all sides. So I will continue to do my work. Whether that is paying the night pilgrims to do stuff while soldiers advance outwards, or if it is really writing letters and being a shoulder for my husband to console on.
We thank you and we wish you the best. My greatest, most amazing majesty of the highest order. And I will like bow in the most uncomfortable and like way over the top, like my ears brush on like the, you know, the dust of the floor and stuff.
Okay.
Walk away.
No problem. Sure. So, jump back to the rest of the group. What are you doing? And it's about this point that Zedaar begins to walk over as well, because our conversation was kind of quicker.
I was just trying to chill and like rest after the battle. Obviously, we jumped straight from the fight into a bit of a chase, and we didn't really have time to catch our breath. So that's mostly what Valmyr is doing, just trying to steady himself.
Okay.
I think Zedaar is trying to clean up the damage that was done to the church.
Okay, you can certainly do a little bit. How do you propose doing that? Are you grabbing a brush or are you using mending?
No, I imagine he's actually just steadily going through and cleaning up because there was a fireball that went off that was then doused by you know, rain just pouring over everything.
So Zedaar's just there with a mop.
I've got magic left, and we're about to sleep, so I imagine he's just like magically just eradicating the water from the rug, so it's going to dry properly. You're not going to get any mold or like dark stains and all that. Just he's doing what he can with what he has access to.
Sure. Okay. Awesome. So I guess
Yeah,
the rest of
Ruby
you are
smashed that
going.
window.
You're going back to the skyship once the cleanup has been done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so by the time you finish, it is probably about 4 or 5 a.m. Early morning sun is beginning to burst over the horizon ever slightly, and the dawn chorus tweets in the background. But either way, you do find rest on the skyship.
I'm gonna give the stone of the what's it called, the light stone.
Gem of brightness.
That's the one, gem of brightness. I'm gonna go up to Moses and say thank you very much. It was very useful, and give it back to him so he could continue growing his fun plants.
He just gives you a
All right.
and allows you to continue on. But I will leave you guys to quickly discuss where you're heading next, because I realized I didn't grab myself a drink, and I need hydration because I've got a bit of a sore throat today. But I'll be right back. You guys chat about your next plans.
So we murder the king, yeah? That's the plan.
Well, if he does not need our assistance, then that does sort of leave us open to where we are heading next.
He
Obviously,
fucking ignores our assistance.
And he sends the queen to the countryside. You trust your wife will be okay away from your
No,
side? What
I
sort of
just
doting
lost all
husband does this?
I have lost all respect for him. He's a complete fool.
Should he be replaced? Question mark.
Well, I'm not against it in principle, certainly not by the people that are next up in line. To outright ignore that he was assassinated and say, I don't believe that actually was by bad people. I do not understand the insanity of his decision.
I think you're missing the context with which he was speaking, Ruby.
We have 6 people in this very room who can verify the authenticity that the Duke is preparing to assassinate him. We can verify this through magic. And he says, I don't believe you.
He didn't say that
I
he
don't
didn't
think we
believe
need to
us.
convince him. I think the issue is there are a lot of other people that we would need to convince in order for him to do anything about it.
It's just
King
a
as
lot
he
of red
is.
tape.
Yes,
It's
King
Very
as he is.
bureaucratic.
He has a lot of individuals who he cannot simply depose him for the word of us.
He's an elected king as well. Just as a...
The point in being a king if you can't do what you need to do to solve the problems.
I imagine that is the
Not
frustration
uncommon.
he is feeling right now.
Elected kings are not uncommon.
It's an elective
No.
monarchy between the nobility. It's, yeah,
You're-
that's why you need
okay.
to...
Okay,
I
let's-
didn't vote for you.
Yeah, no.
Like
in that context, fine.
He is sending the
like
queen
the
I
away.
way
thought we were getting into a Naboo situation.
Guys, anyway.
He is sending the queen away because it is safer than keeping her with him. If something else happens to him, she will not be in the line of fire. If he does not want our
He's-
assistance and believes he will be safe, then we must accept that. There are other things for us to be doing. Darius, you desperately wanted to help one of your siblings.
She's
We
not
also
a
have-
target either.
We also have this writ of investigation that will allow us to seek out evidence against the king. If the Duke is part of the coup attempt, and my father is as well, there is no reason to that there are other nobles who are not as well. Though we have 0 leads to move that on, except perhaps whoever owns the land underneath where these mines might be.
I believe that was the Duke of Ate.
It was.
That's all his land?
He's a duke. He has quite a lot of land.
I mean, there are other nobles where the mines were, correct, or no? It was just Sunderstar and Duke's lands?
So Sunderstar land are technically the Duke's land by an extent.
Sure.
So the Duke
other-
has... This Duke has 4 counties underneath him.
Quite a lot of territory.
And we're still within one of those 4.
Yeah. You're in the capital of it, so it's like...
Yeah.
Are they de
So
jure
then,
counties
yes,
that
it is
have
the Duke's
been
land. The Duke
forever
had these
his?
things in
Yes,
his
they
mines.
are all de jure
Or-
counties. The thing is with Othray and most of the Nardathel, nothing really falls out of the set kingdoms as much warring happens. Like the most land transfer that's happened in recent-ish history hasn't actually transferred between the duchies and counties of Nardathel. In fact, it was by inheritance. Nardathel lost almost an entire kingdom into the Rhiannon Empire. So that which is the areas of the Rhiannon Empire south of the Spine Mountain Range were their own kingdom of the Nardathel that fell out and is now part of a different empire. But
I have an idea, and I think this might play into with.
I was going to make a joke. Yes, that is all very interesting. And Zedaar is going to show his anthological history of the Rhiannon Empire because he does have that book. Anyway,
yes, he does.
I have an idea, and I actually think it might play into what Zedaar is planning to speak to one of the deacons. Yes, the son. Could you also do the same spell on one of the drow?
As long as they have a mouth with which to speak.
It stands to reason that there must be some sort of communication between this drow assassination group and the Duke of Ate. I don't know the extent of it, but obviously we can't ask him. He's not going to tell us anything, even with this warrant, or he'll dodge questions or whatever. We might be able to get something out of the dead.
I hold up my necklace and I say that I can read minds. If we need to speak to the Duke, it will alert him that we are onto him, but I can...
Oh, that's awkward.
Figure out how he communicates with them. I don't believe that the dead drow will be receptive to telling us how they communicate with him.
Has Ziraj used that mind reading ability on any of the party at any point?
I don't remember.
You can roll an insight check.
You can roll an
Well,
insight check.
this is more of if she has, then Ruby's thought is, wow, she's really pretty.
But also, just as another note there, and to play devil's advocate, the Duke of Ate has not met Ziraj.
We could sneak Ziraj in to. You're pretty sneaky.
That is going to be a risk no matter how we attempt it. Any time that we are going to be anywhere near where he is going to be extra on guard.
Also, the amulet does not work. Like, I cannot dive into his brain and swim around. I must ask a question so that it brings the thought to the forefront of his mind. I can only read it like a book, not like a library search.
And it would be very awkward if you were just to go in there and start asking questions about his plans with the drow. And more to the point, that still doesn't require the evidence we would require. We need documentation. Physical hard evidence.
What we could do is try and find these two drow that have escaped into the wilds and interrogate them with Ziraj's amulet.
Where are drow like this most likely to be hiding?
Underground.
So we go to the mines.
We follow the tracks, but yes, they probably went to the mines, although do we know where the closest entrance would be, or do they just pop up out of the ground like a mushroom?
What? the Underdark?
Yeah.
Anyone from this continent may make a nature check at disadvantage, but Lambert, Valmyr may make one at advantage.
Hey, boy.
Can I go through our cartographer's maps, my cartography skill?
Yes, absolutely. Are you looking for Underdark here? Kind of thing,
Well,
A
geological-
nature check, you said.
It's actually not bad. 15. Oh, shit. Wrong button.
And yeah, Lambert, you're at advantage while everyone else is at
I'm back, baby!
Actually, Lambert, yours can also be history if that's got a better modifier, just because of your background.
But that would only put it to an 8.
Your DC is different because of who you are. So an 8
do you
is
want me
not
to roll
nothing.
again, or are those
Yeah,
dice
just
still...
roll again. Just roll again. But an 8 is not nothing.
I need you to pass this check, so therefore I'm giving you the...
Throwing everything.
No.
at you.
He also he already tried this check before and failed it. But so it's to go off of other if people pull information if he can add extra things like.
But this is Lambert.
I'm gonna
So-
give Flash of Genius to Valmyr, so that's actually an 18, and Flash of Genius to myself is a 21.
Okay, so
And Ruby's a 20.
I've missed you, Zep, so bad.
Zep, you know, because
And Ruby as well, sure.
Legrang's Land is is one of the only regions where the Underdark is constantly accessed on this continent. You know that you also have heard tell from these like maps and stuff that there are a lot of Underdark entrances on the Eladrin side of the continent because of the natural connection there. They kept those open. However, in the various wars and such, a lot of the Rhiannian entrances, etc., have been closed except for the ones like around Modgwin. It's not like that there is an entrance to the Underdark, you know, every which mile. A lot of them have been sought after and destroyed because people fear of an attack. So for there to be one that's been used, like the only things that remain, there's like not ones that you can move an entire army through. It would be ones where 5 men max could probably sneak out, and they will be like side passes that are dangerous and really difficult. Valmyr, you actually know not of one nearby, but you used one of these side entrances when you first stepped foot on this part of the continent, essentially. But there is no major defined, here is the Underdark outside of Modgwin, within some cities within the Legrang's Land, because Legrang's Land is always actively at war with the Underdark, looking for more crystals. So there isn't anything that you definitely know of in Nardathel, which again, using what you've already known, might be why there is a mining company of Duragar that have been hired to make one for the Duke of Arte. Just go on information that you've already discovered in the past.
So that's where we need to go then.
So you have 2 options, which is try to find one of these sub-vaults. And this is something that Valmyr's role adds to it. Normally, there is a marker that looks geological, but is actually made to mark one of these entrances. That this is an Underdark location, and also some of the flora and fauna sometimes gets out a little bit, so local rumor might be able to help out there. And you think, considering this is one that had to get a Night Stalker through, it's got to be relatively big. So you could investigate that way. That, or you've also got the mine could be the other option, that they could have already made it through in some way, and that the tunnels are already heavily underway. Underway.
If I remember correctly, I did a brief map of where potential mine entrances were when we had the Duke was looking at a map.
Yeah,
and then I made my own based on that.
Yep, you did indeed.
Can I see that map, Zep?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like, collaboratively, like, see if there's anything that jumps out at me as being particularly interesting, or like any potential.
Sure. Give me another advantage. Give me an advantage investigation, Lambert. Valmyr, sorry. Why am I using your streamer name? You are a character here.
15.
Okay. There's an area of the map which at first looks like it's just a marked range of hills, but you notice a scribbling that to you suggests that to the north of Arte, between here and sorry, let me get the map up so I'm not messing the names up.
And additionally, is it in the general direction of where those 2 drow were headed?
It would be. But between here and Tervurish, and there is a hill range that has like a little scritching to it that is the letter E in Undercommon.
E for entrance. It looks like a V. In common.
Yeah, but you marked along the cove all sorts of entrances that could be to the underpassages beneath Giviar Maria.
I point this out. How far roughly is this from us, Zep? You know the scaling of your own map, after all.
How far is this?
Because this is a copy of a map that you are eyeing up for no more than 2 minutes, give me a quick cartography check to see how accurate your map is, Zep.
Also, congrats on copying down the undercommon letter in those 2 minutes as well. Good memory.
No, he rolled exceedingly high, if I remember correctly, before.
Of course he did.
It was something like a 28, because of course it was.
Oh, yeah.
I say 26.
You're here as a balancer, Zep.
Speaking of, oh no, I put the wrong Valmyr. Sorry, I redid the name tags today to do a 7 panel, and I've apparently put the wrong Valmyr name tag on. I've got 2, one that's spelt wrong, and I put the old one on because I forgot to delete it.
It's just an undercommon translation error. Don't worry about it.
Guys, this is why I should never go on holiday.
You need an editor at the very least.
I think at this point it's okay that there's always like just one thing. It's like the marker.
Easter egg.
It's like the
Yeah,
trademark,
that's
the
true. That's true.
trademark,
Become a Patreon today and get me an English dictionary. That's what
Also,
it is.
I'm less and less thinking that last week was about me stealing someone's roles. I'm more just when Zep is here, he steals my roles.
I mean, fair enough.
He wasn't there for most of the fight, and I was doing fucking brilliantly.
Okay.
When I
With the
did arrive, I
26,
rolled terribly, so yeah.
you think this could be about 3 miles north of where you are?
Oh, that's
Boom,
cool.
perfect. We should check this out
After we rest.
after we rest and talk to the dead man.
Okay.
Because if these drow are looking to come back out and finish the job or try again, then they won't have gone very deeply into the cavern here. They will be pretty shallow, and we'll be able to tell. Right, there will be tracks. I'm sure Gourd or Zedaar would be more than capable of tracking if we know exactly where they're going. So yeah, I think a quick sleep, talk with the dead guy, then we should set out. We've got 2 weeks until the nobles gather. I think it's a good idea for us to follow this path.
I agree.
Also, in terms of evidence, Darius, your brother, has paperwork literally saying he was hired, correct? For this job? Could we not go to take the paperwork from your father or your brother and point that out as evidence? Like, hello, these people were paid to kill the king.
They weren't. They were paid.
Paid to be a mercenary organization for the war effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh. Never mind. I'm sleepy.
I have coffee.
But you may all take a long rest. I will get that on your sheet right now, which means also your level up goes into full effect from the last session.
I feel stronger already.
But in the early hours of the morning, you find solace in the fact that you did a very good deed today and saved a king. And you wake up And it's the middle of the afternoon because of the times that you fell asleep. Before you went to bed, did you want to get Marcus moving on a course?
Before
No, we don't want to move anywhere.
If
Okay.
we move, then we're not going to be able to investigate the body.
Yeah, we still.
Before we have gone to bed, there is one thing Ruby would like to try to do.
Okay, which is?
Given how long ago this was, it could obviously be difficult, but she wants to see if she can understand the spell that her father was casting over the body, over the baby,
Oh,
in her little dream.
sure. Give me an Arcana check. I think with disadvantage, because I think you've tried this before.
I have not. I've talked to you about it, but I have not actually tried it.
Oh, okay. Then not a disadvantage. Actually, no, it wouldn't be disadvantage anyway, because it would just be the DC would be higher.
20.
You're not.
30-20.
It was a ritual cast, but it's not of any standard ritual that that is, that comes out of the sort of play-by-play of a standard wizard or a cleric or whatever. It seemed to be a very direct spell, which, with a 20, you don't quite know. You know that it's a ritual cast, and you know that it has something to do with either to do with what your heritage is in some way, but you are not a student of any type of this magic. It seems very obscure or ancient. You're not. It's not something that you have come across ever in any of your reading or knowledge.
Okay.
I would like to, before I go to sleep, do a little meditation and offer up the 3 lives I took today to my patron.
Oh.
The Shadow Demon, a warrior, and a mage.
Okay. Talk me through how you're ritualing this.
Oh, I'm sat down, cross-legged, with just a small box in front of me, serving as like a mini little altar, some incense burning, and I have my glaive across my knees, and I'm just rubbing my fingers over the runes that are on the glaive that appeared after I killed these 3 beings, and I'm just whispering an infernal and offering up their souls to Daddy.
Valmyr, make a Constitution saving throw.
Shit. Actually, I'm alright at these.
That shadow demon.
19.
As you put your hands over the ruins, the warrior and the two humanoid individuals still pass off, as they always have done, as you give these beings to the will of your father. But as your hand goes across the ruins and you think about the shadow demon, a thick black tinting to your skin begins to take over on your hand, and you manage to it begins to burn and you feel a shooting pain, but you manage to steel yourself, and you now have 3 black middle fingers, but you did not take any of the damage, and it's like necrosis has set in on 3 of your fingers on your left hand.
Okie dokie.
You're the 3 middle fingers as well, so the one in which you wear your ring.
Huh, okay, that's new. I wonder if that's, doesn't want me to kill Shadow Demon. Okay. Point taken. I'm going to make the glaive disappear, and then I'm going to go to sleep.
Sure. Okay.
Does it heal with a long rest?
Does not.
Fun.
And we'll see what that does. But as I said, it's now the afternoon. You'll slowly emerge from your cabins and regroup in the mess again. With Ruby has, I guess, got up about an hour earlier and prepped some lunch for you all.
Yes. Everybody wakes up to honey cream puffs.
Delicious. And that is what, 3 temp HP?
Yeah.
Sweet. Tastes delightful.
Kitten, you and me are gonna fight.
What did Zaraj do to you? She refused the honey.
No, I ate
thing.
too many. Ruby was like, save some for everyone else.
I just got an email from I was doing some googling, just Etsy shopping for D&D stuff. You know what it does, but I just got an email of some really cool looking stuff, and I'm just like, oh no, my wallet. Oh dear. But you'll wake up, and
Fun fact, by the way, if you click on a link from, it's an Etsy advertisement, and then go buy something going through that link, the store gets less of a cut if you do that. So don't do that. You go direct.
tips for shopping on Etsy and supporting small businesses. Anyway, you now have Valmyr. I think you have the head of a drow with you, don't you? You managed to already take one of the heads of the drow bodies.
Did I take? Sure, let's say I did that.
You did from outside. I think you did. You took one with when Zedaar was like, we might want to speak to them. You you took some heads because you I think you severed the head off of the mage, didn't you? In combat.
No, with the mage, I think I killed him with Eldritch Blast.
Oh, okay. Someone's head came off.
Yeah, it seems like something I'd do. Sure.
So you have a drow head. But also if you wish to go speak to the bodies of the deacon and his son, they were being prepped in the cathedral.
So, this spell can be used several times. If we do not plan on doing anything else today, then I could potentially speak with up to 5 individuals. Or should I say 5 of the deceased. It is important that they have a mouth, otherwise they cannot communicate with us, and they may not be so willing to share the information we want with us, as the king has said.
Question. By mouth, do they need lips or just the mechanical bits?
You need a jawbone because I think it can apply to skulls, can't it?
The complication here is simply that, and as I'm reading this, it must still have a mouth, is the only requirement.
Yeah. I think that is like jaw part of the mouth, rather than lips, because you can use it on like emaciated and skull-like corpses, and it worked just fine. Like people can be dead up to like 200 years, I think, in the naming of the spell.
No, there's no specifics for time.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, there you go. So yeah, skulls work.
Jawbone just clacks in Morse code.
Each of the spell castings are 5 questions, so those questions are something that we should consider ahead of time.
I would not go crazy with the number of castings. After all, the longer that we let these individuals flee, the further they will get.
I think 2. And then we should, depending on the information that we get, make all haste.
Very well.
As for questions, For the Deacon's son, how many did you see? What were they all carrying? So maybe we can see if the two individuals that have fled, if they were mages as well, if they were carrying staffs, perhaps.
Any identifying features?
Of where are you checking for identifying features? Sorry.
No,
We're talking about questions to ask the
Yeah,
corpse.
we're not
Oh,
asking
right.
them just yet.
Right.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you were asking. I thought that was a question to me. I was prepping something.
Figuring out what the individuals look like will help us figure out who we are hunting. That is a start. If they overheard any information that seems useful, that would also be quite useful. Because typically when you are going to murder somebody, you may not care exactly what you let them know what you are talking about.
Did they mention any individuals from Othray by name? And what were those names? But don't give him the name of the Duke of Arte, but see if they bring it up themselves.
When you speak to the dead Zedaar, can everyone hear it, or is it more in your head?
The body will be given a semblance of its former life. It will be speaking aloud.
But only
Can you-
Zedaar may talk to it, I believe.
What happens if this drow that you talk
Zedaar can
to?
ask the questions.
Yeah.
What happens if this drow that you talk to does not speak common?
Then that may be a problem.
Do you speak Undercommon?
No. I am not so concerned spending so many spells on the drow. They will be potentially able to recognize who is asking them the questions, and I doubt they will tell us anything they would not tell us were we just interrogating them.
But I can read their minds potentially.
I'm not sure if you can read the mind of a corpse.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Upstairs.
It doesn't. It doesn't bring them back. It's a semblance of their life, so it's a copy. They don't actually have free thought. They know what they knew, but there's not brain waves going on.
If the Deacon is a loyal follower of the king, maybe name-dropping him as the target of the assassination would be more likely to make them divulge information.
That is the other thing. Trickery does not work so well with this spell. The corpse cannot learn new information, so attempting to give it information to beguile it does not work. We have a solid start already, asking how we may be able to identify the individuals who are responsible. Any secret information or anything they may have overheard that seems useful. Other than that, if they happen to overhear just where they were going.
Seems wise. And maybe leave a question free, just in case one of their answers leads us to another question.
We have 10 minutes once we have started asking questions to ask all of them, so that is fine.
Do we go with the Deacon's son first or the drow?
I feel the Deacon's son is going to be more useful.
I would agree.
Okay. So you head out of the skyship. Darius, you said you'd left already. Were you doing anything particular, or just?
I haven't talked in like 20 minutes.
I thought you said you headed out. I thought you said sorry. I thought you said
Nope.
you headed out. Okay.
Microphone's been off for like a half hour.
Sorry, buddy. I thought you said you headed out. But you all go to one of the side. It's basically their bodies are being prepped in one of the. In fact, this is like a side transept within the cathedral ground. Like it's still attached to the building, but it's its own separate area. where the two bodies are out on essentially stone slab tables, and they've been repaired somewhat, but the horrific wounds, while some closed, still very visible. They have both been dressed in a sheet with the holy symbols of, to those who are more religious who might know this is the of Cathriel, the law singer. Fancy embroidered robes. Normally this seems like they're being given the treatment of someone of much higher status than maybe they aspire to. Maybe that of a bishop or archbishop. But due to the circumstances, it has been seen fit to deal with them thusly. But they lay there. It's a no-windowed, candlelit room. And the guards at the front know who you are and let you in.
Very well. I suppose this is it. Listen carefully. Bodies can sometimes be cryptic after they have died.
And Zedaar will, I suppose, just go ahead and start casting Speak with Dead on the sun first.
Okay.
Does Gourd feel about this?
Speak with dead.
Yeah.
This is something that Zedaar has actually brought up before, I'm pretty sure, a long time ago in the campaign, where it is something in his culture, especially with those who worship Bahamut, that those individuals who die, it is customary to take them into a chamber like this and cover them so that they can give their last will and testament after their death.
I just wonder if, like, I respect the laws of nature, so I just wonder if this to me is like necromantic against the laws of nature, and I'm gauging to see how Gourd's reacting because we both have a similar natural.
Are you asking in character?
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to look at
like-
you. Like I'll
so,
insight check if you.
I mean, as far as as far as like what you see, I mean, he's very much his self. Like he sees this, I guess, as like a necessary purpose. You know, it's not like we're doing anything to like break the laws of nature. We're just bending them a little bit for a good purpose.
All right, I follow suit. No big deal.
Okay. Zedaar, explain to me how you cast this spell. You're muted.
I imagine because it's been part of the rituals that they have done. He first covers the head of the individual so that nobody has to see a corpse speaking, because it can be unsettling. And then he will hold the holy symbol over them, and as he casts the spell, it's just like it's like a sprinkle of light that kind of flows out of the holy symbol and drifts into it like the body taking a deep breath.
And as you take that deep breath, the body you may ask it questions.
Zedaar's going to look around him. It's like,
The first I was going to ask was about the best way to identify those who are responsible for their death.
nope. If nobody gives him any opposition, he will lay over and just whisper,
Can you identify and give a description of those who are responsible for your life ending?
I still see him. I still see him. The night elf with the scarred smile.
Scarred smile? I suppose that is the best we're going to do with that. A night elf as well.
Is it common for drow to be referred to as night elves? Have we heard that before?
Whilst you may not have, I would say that Darius would have heard common, men at arms call them.
Just
that before.
Confirming with the others, sure.
All right, that is our first question.
And I'm already drawing a blank on the other two questions. Fuck.
How many?
We know how many. It was 2.
Did they have like staffs or were they mages?
Where was this body found? Was it the one on the outside or the one in the hallway?
This is the one we found, I guess, the tree.
By the tree? Which way
Outside-
did they? Which
outside.
way did they go or come from? Like, where did you see? Like, we don't know when he died.
That was one of the
So-
questions. And he's going to lean in and whisper,
Did you hear them speaking of anything useful that might tell us where they're going or what they're doing?
It's so cold. I just feel I feel the night still. As there was a group of them that went inside, but he stayed.
They killed him before they started camping. So we know generally something to identify him by, and that this was done before they started camping out for the assassination of the king, so what is next? We can ask if they seem to be casters or something to that effect, but
We probably know that by the injuries.
he was carved up with a blade.
Do we want to ask why his face was removed? Well, he wouldn't know the answer to that.
Why would you want to know that?
What are they doing with the people's faces? I would like to know.
Probably the last thing I was thinking while my face was being removed.
Yeah. Well, maybe it actually.
face.
Actually, it might be the first thing you're thinking is why are they removing my face?
We still have 3 more questions.
Oh God!
Um,
Should have had a list written down before we started this.
Yes, we should have.
Maybe
Have we
someone,
got
maybe
gold
someone take the
anywhere?
initiative and do that for the drow now, while you think of some.
Hey, we asked. We only came up with 3.
Does Zedaar have
Ask for his
any?
last rights, just like your own.
Assuming we had questions left over, that was going to be one of the last questions I asked. Because the last thing I want to do is ask that question, and they're like, "Oh, here's a really good question." We asked that one, and there's like, "Fuck! If only we had 2 more questions."
Yeah.
Who else knew about the secret entrance? What sort of people are privy to the secret entrance in the catacombs?
Not to go well.
That is a good one. Zedaar will ask.
Who all knew of the secret entrance into the catacombs?
I found it one day, whilst walking the grounds. My father knew of it. Maybe my mother. Maybe the Archbishop. Not many.
Do you know your dad's already dead as well?
That's not.
The Archbishop and his mother. He was killed before they entered. He was showing them where it was,
How would
but they
know
already
that?
knew to look for it.
I think.
Do we need to talk to the Archbishop?
Was it? Did we? Not just trying to remember. Did we check to see if there was like forced entry into that door, or was it unlocked with a key?
I don't think it was broken because I think we did look.
It
for
was
that.
still locked from the inside.
Yeah.
They locked it on the way out.
You think because it was found, you found that the keychain that the deacon had was broken.
Hmm.
I mean, we could ask him where potentially his mother or the Archbishop might be if we want to follow that line of reasoning.
I was thinking more along the lines of, did the drow force their way in, or were they let in through that entrance?
I feel like if we wanted that, we could just go back and investigate the door.
It didn't. It didn't look like it was broken in. At least it It didn't look like they forced it open. They might have picked the lock or something. But
How did the drow catch them?
Catch them.
Yeah, if my reasoning is that they caught the deacon and his son in order to get them to open the door. Somebody must have led them to the deacon.
So I'm a bit sus of the Archbishop.
We could also ask if sketchy characters came to the church within the last period of time to see, kind of going with Sep's reasoning.
could also ask.
I can't figure out why they wanted the faces.
Could just be a sadist.
Could just be
No.
Could
Faces.
also ask if they. This might be a stretch, but if they remember overhearing anything.
That was the second question I asked.
Well, you were overhearing just general chit chat in Undercommon. Maybe they remember some phrases or something like that. Because we do have somebody that knows Undercommon, and while you don't understand the language, you can at least phonetically remember what's being said.
Well,
So
Again, that's what I said. That was the second question I asked. Did you hear anything, overhear anything that might have been useful? And he just kind of talked about how cold and how dark it was.
So they didn't ask him any questions whatsoever, no information. It was just kill, take your face.
Well, where is the entrance to the thing would have been something they asked him. He doesn't look like the kind to put up too much
No, you
resistance to
don't-
that.
It's the point of it being a secret is you wouldn't ask for it.
If you
I
know
don't-
of its existence but not where it is.
yeah, I don't think it's hard. There could be a lot of ways they could have found out that there would be an entrance somewhere, but they wouldn't know the specifics of it.
Is it
So that
common for these for buildings and churches to have a secret entrance?
well, he listed 4 people that he could think of that would know that this exists here.
This chapel is on the Duke of Arte's land, and the Duke of Arte is the one that bought these mercenaries, these drow. So I'd imagine he probably told them, actually.
Or the Archbishop is one of his vassals.
I mean, we have 2 questions left. We could just ask specifically. Sorry, I'm out of character. We could ask why he and his father were necessary to show him where the tunnel was.
He might not know that though. He might just if it's a sadist thing, they might have just needed another body. Because
Hostage to ensure compliance.
that too.
The boy said he found it while he was just wandering. What if that's when he found it, is when they were showing up? Bad timing. Bad circumstances.
Too many coincidences.
Yeah, it didn't sound like it was like that. It just sounded like he knew of it because of some point he found it while out. I don't think it was I just found it and then I'm dead.
As a quick note, those of you using Syrinscape, can you hear it right now? Because I'm having issues on my end.
I don't hear
No.
anything.
Okay.
I did, but now I don't.
Also, the drow were able to lock the doors magically when we were inside of the chapel. They probably have magical locking, unlocking spells. I don't know.
Isn't there a spell called Knock as well? That
They
just
took the
opens
key with them.
doors?
I could ask, is there anything we could ask his father that might convince him to answer our questions?
What questions would we have for his father that are different?
He was taken inside. He may have overheard more.
If he would have
Honestly, probably
overheard
just
things,
ask the same things.
they'd have been talking to, like, the drow would be talking to each other in Undercommon. I don't think there's much that they would overhear that they would understand.
Well, that's what that's what I was saying before. Is if they did overhear, because I might not understand German or something like that, but I might be able to remember a couple of phrases that are said around me, not understanding the actual meaning, but understanding the sounds that have been said. Kind of.
German's a pretty close language to English. I'd say Undercommon, not so close to Common. It's like overhearing Finnish. You ain't picking up phrases on
Well,
that.
as a point to that, the kid, what race was he?
Human.
Because he was human. So yeah, that would be kind of a divide because that's comparing common to what would be basically like a form of Elvish language.
True, but he's also raised in a religious. I mean, if the father was religious based, then have more exposure to other languages as well because of better education.
Maybe ask what his languages his father knew.
Or ask how he felt about the Archbishop. Maybe he will give us more information about how sketchy is the Archbishop.
Do they have authority anywhere else? Like, do this Archbishop and his father, do they caretake for anywhere else?
That could be a question to be asked. Those would be
It
our
seems
last
like
questions.
it seems like something we could just ask other people. Like, did they have other responsibilities? That doesn't seem like a.
The point I'm
magic
getting at
question.
is there is a precedent for spells that you could use the faces of others. Yes? What if they were trying to get into somewhere else?
I think I think we went over that a lot last time.
Yeah.
There wasn't any spells that we knew of that would need the component a human face or a part of a human face.
you'd rather cover that. You don't.
We wrung that dry.
I tried multiple times.
Okay.
We also mentioned too, Remy and the king, that these individuals, those faces were stolen, and if there's any magic that allows them to be replicated, they're not going to be safe disguises.
Yeah. That, and also it seems they have this kid has a mother and the father had a wife, so she's probably being informed of this right now. I'd hope that something has happened if she's alive. Therefore, that's going to spread.
This up before we run out of time. I'm going to ask question 4, and that is because lack of all the better options here. He's going to ask, do you remember anyone unusual coming to the church following the days and weeks before the assassination attempt?
That's why I was following.
Oh, there we go.
That's why he was following.
Ah, shit.
Well,
What
there
were
we
you
go.
afraid of?
That's what I was kind of saying is.
Sorry, kid, no rat strikes for you. What the fuck do you mean?
Damn.
I mean, that could be our last question, is if there's anything that we could say to his father that would potentially convince him to answer our questions.
I'd actually, I think it'd be better if we got more specifics on who he was following or why he was following them, and then we ask the father a separate set of questions. Because our similar sets of questions to overlap, because that might give us something if he saw something.
The king specifically said that the father would possibly be very resistant to answering questions, as this goes against tenets of their faith.
We could finagle that, though.
Could we?
I mean, we defended his church, and
Yes,
we're
but-
trying to find their murderers.
We're not speaking with the actual spirit here. We're speaking with a copy of what they know.
In telling them that is not going to convince them. The body cannot learn new information. If we can't think of anything else, then I would prefer to learn anything that he wants to share with those close to him and allow his body to rest.
I say more specifics on who he
Only
was
thing
following.
that I would think is who was he following, and if either his father or the archbishop were being held hostage, or being led or leading them.
One of the
Who were
find
you
out
following and why?
People was.
That's a good one.
Who you are following and why would be 2 questions.
I would say we already know he was following somebody, and ultimately that was the individual that murdered them, or a party that murdered him. So we should just ask, why were you following them? Because it might give us an indication of something that stands out. Like maybe they have a distinctive, I don't know, cloak color or something. Maybe they've got something that stands out, and we can use that in our search.
Because
I would say
his name told me to.
I would say specifically what made this person stand out that you needed to follow them. Otherwise, they will simply say they were suspicious.
That's what I was going to go into. Very well, then that will be the last question. Zedaar will whisper over, what made you want to follow this suspicious individual?
They had my dad.
Well, hey, it was a good question to ask. It might have led something. We learned he was following somebody from the last question, so.
This was going to be a long shot regardless. They can be, bodies who have suffered like this can be difficult. But we did learn that there is a identifying scar on the person who killed him.
Yes.
The faint glow that seemed to be shining through the covered body fades.
Zedaar just kind of gently pulls it and folds the cloth up.
That is one.
I think we should leave the father. I don't think we're going to get anything out of him. We should talk to the drow.
Are they
How many times can we cast this today? Left.
I could do it 4 more times.
I mean, it's a long shot, but we might get something from the father. He was actually taken inside. If we get something, I mean, it might be worth it. You know, it's one cast, and then we can do the drow after that.
As long as we are not going to be dealing with anything else significant by the end of the day.
Well, that's it. We are 3 miles away from the entrance to the Underdark, where we may end up encountering these remaining 2 drow.
Or more.
I would be hesitant to blow our entire loads on a long shot.
Well, we got two options. We either interrogate the victim of a murder and have a chance of getting some information from that victim, or 2, we interrogate an enemy soldier that has almost no reason to tell us anything, because they can just not answer, right? They can just refuse to share information.
They
so I'd
could
say
outright lie to us.
Yeah, I would say the best option of those 2 would be the one that has some inkling to work with us.
The third option is we go to this entrance now.
That's what I was going to say, is at this point, what information will we gain from either option that is going to aid us in going into this cave,
We may not be able to convince a dead drow that we have killed to talk to us, but a living one? We have ways of convincing them to talk. And Zaraj has her amulet.
I'm saying information is very useful, and even a tidbit. We just learned from just that conversation, well, that very long back and forth working out questions. We got a small physical description of one of the individuals of the party. And that helps us immensely to try and work it out, because as far as I know, the Underdark is a large place with a wide variety of individuals in it. So it'd be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, or a needle in a stack of needles.
One question we could potentially ask the father the son did not know, and that is why he was being specifically used to find the entrance, and who may have told him about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The son did not know that.
Yeah. There's overhearing conversations. Again, something. You know, father may know a little bit of Elvish. Who knows?
I'm gonna try it.
It's.
Where would the Archbishop live? In the cathedral or outside?
It doesn't live in the cathedral. He actually has residence within the city. I think you've already. Yeah, we had that information before. The Archbishop has literally 5 doors down from Ruby's aunt.
Oh, was the Archbishop here?
No.
It's a bit ominous, not showing up to his king being assassinated in his own church.
One church of many that he would look over.
This is his seat, though, isn't it?
This is the cathedral. This will be his seat.
makes it incredibly suspicious to me.
Then that is something that we can look into after this. If we are still of the like mind to ask the deacon as well.
Is this something that we can do en route?
Not without taking the body with us.
And we'd still have to go into the city to question the Archbishop, so it's not like we're gonna beeline immediately anyways.
Let's
I'll
talk
also
to the
point out-
father and then go to the entrance, I think.
Regardless, we are already 14 hours behind those we are chasing.
Yeah.
But as I said, if they want to try again, I highly doubt they would have left the rest of their party to do an assassination, to go to the entrance to this Underdark, and just end up going home. Like, that doesn't make no sense to me. They're not finished here.
Well then I think that is more argument for us to gather as much information as possible before confronting them again.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk to the father quickly and then let's go.
All right. I suppose we will speak with the deacon next. And for simplicity's sake here, Midge, we can roleplay this or slip it along here. If he actually will answer our questions, then the questions are going to be very similar. Did he overhear any conversations that he feels might be significant? Can he repeat anything if the answer to that is yes? I guess it might be easier to just ask him the questions one-on-one.
Okay, so you light some more incense, and a similar light appears under the cloth.
We'll just start with. Yeah, we'll just start with.
When you were killed, did those who were responsible speak? And did you overhear any information you might feel was useful?
He was laughing the entire time.
Sadist. There we go.
I felt it. All I can see is that smile.
Same one killed them both. We were aware of that already.
Get a better picture of his mentality, though.
Why did they choose you to show them the entrance? Did they already know it was here?
That's 2 questions.
I'm not sure if that's 2 questions because that's prefacing a question with a statement of the question being there.
Why did they choose you? Did they know it was there?
Yeah.
You're getting 2 separate bits of information out of it.
Did they choose you because they already knew the existence of the entrance?
Technically, that is just one question with the comma phrasing. Very well. Then he'll ask,
Did they already know the entrance was here?
and that is the questions that are asked.
Justice must find its own path. How is my wife?
Didn't think they could ask questions back.
We couldn't answer the question if we wanted to. He would not learn anything.
Yeah, there's nothing that says that they can't ask questions back. It's a memory of someone's existence.
And that would be a very honest concern.
Yeah. Well, I imagine Zedaar, we're just going to close his eyes and say,
I feel like his resistance to this has already run its course. We're not going to learn much more here.
I mean, just no problem in just asking the final 3 and then just moving on.
Then what specifically do we want to go ahead and ask?
It's basically the same things as the kid. Anybody suspicious recently? that you noticed. Maybe they could have been under disguise looking ahead of time, things like
What
that.
kind of person is the Archbishop?
Yeah, what's your read on his character? And then maybe... what would be the last one? Then you can ask final rights, the last one, if you wanted to.
Zedaar is going to lean over and ask,
Did the Archbishop do or say anything unusual the last time you spoke to him?
The Archbishop is a glutton. Not worth your time.
Okay, this is some...
Zedaar at this point is going to be fed up himself. He's just going to sigh and say,
Is there any last rites that you would like to be passed on now that you are gone?
Bury me in my family plot. And give my holy symbol to the boy.
Ooh, okay.
How is my
Spare the
wife?
boy.
somehow this is the moment where Zedaar just like blinks his eyes again. It's like, god damn it.
Okay. Well,
Is there anything you would want your wife to know?
Trying to work out if they know they're dead. They know they're dead, right?
I believe they are aware they're dead.
Yeah.
it has the
It's the
memories.
last thing the body learns before it dies. Is that
Yeah.
Died in sleep. It's like, wait, I'm dead? What the fuck?
Yeah, he was being actively murdered, so he probably understands that he's dead at this point.
So can you repeat the question to me, just so I preface this
the
properly?
last one was,
Is there anything you would want your wife to know?
Don't burden this, my love. Tell her that she shan't burden this.
I'm sorry, what was that? Don't burden this?
Yeah.
Okay. And Zedaar will just nod, but the spell will end, and he will just kind of stand up.
Okay, it's confirmed much of what we knew already, but I suppose that information is worth it.
We know that the Archbishop is a glutton. Maybe he can be bribed.
With food.
Yes.
It would work for me.
We know a chef.
They
I
do
think it tells us enough about his
probably easily
character.
bribed.
I think it more tells us his character is that he's got a very low opinion. People have a very low opinion of him that work under him, and that he wasn't here. He hasn't been here yet. Which tells us also about his character. So I think we can kind of glean a little bit of who he is.
Zedaar will basically go to the door. Are there any acolytes that have been around responsible for just overseeing the church now that these two individuals are no longer able to?
It seems like there are some in the grounds if you go out, but everyone is being kept out of the main chamber while the king is here. It's while the king has been here. So the investigation is continuing.
Then whoever's immediately responsible for overlooking the bodies, because I imagine there's some guard that's been posted for it, Zedaar will just step up and say,
The deacon's last request is that his holy symbol be buried with his son, and that a message be sent to his wife that she should not burden herself over the events that have transpired.
They wish to be buried in the family plot.
And they wish to be buried in the family plot.
Thank you. But,
the boy should be buried with his father's symbol.
I'm afraid the wife won't be doing much receiving either. All three should be buried together.
Well, shit.
Excuse me?
Are you saying that they were abducted from their home?
It's hard to put the full picture together, but what I heard is they'll be bringing the wife here because they found her in multiple rooms of the house.
Okay. Well,
Is her face missing?
I don't have the full details. They haven't brought her here yet, and I'm not a cleric. I'm just guarding the bodies while the investigation continues.
Right.
You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Let's get this guy.
Well, do we want to talk to the Archbishop at this point, given the fact
I
that
want to
he's...
get after these psycho sons of bitches.
But if we speak to the Archbishop, we can also ascertain how he communicates with these people, where they come from.
The Archbishop doesn't suspect that we suspect anything about him. He's going to be in the same place a week from now, a month from now.
Fair. Okay.
I doubt
There is
that.
a time limit on these drow. I am very getting impatient.
These drow.
I'm just going to point out he's not too far away from the scene of what is essentially a three-person murder and abduction and attempted assassination in
He has
his
no
church.
inkling that there is any suspicion on him.
Braun ties up. Yeah. Well, if we want to go speak to the Archbishop, a few of us could go and then catch the others in the skyship. We know where we are going. It is only 3 miles. That could be transited on foot. Because Braun has an intelligence now. He can offer far
He's
more.
offering bad advice.
Yeah, he's got a +2. The man is intelligent.
It's already 17. We're already 17 hours behind. At that point, an extra hour or two.
It's not an extra hour, though.
He's smarter than me.
He's smarter than pretty much everyone. Other than,
He's really intelligent. It's not going to change anything. If they've gone to ground, they're at that ground. If they're planning their next attack, they're planning their next attack.
But what are we learning from the Archbishop now that we can't learn later? We can
We
prevent
might
the
figure
drow
out-
from attacking again if we confront them. We can't prevent them if we go talk to the Archbishop.
that Archbishop isn't murdering anyone.
Well,
The
if we're
Archbishop is
saying
giving the information, these people were not caught unawares at the cathedral. They were sought out, murdered in their home.
that,
Someone
I'm
had to
saying
tell them who they are.
Yeah, I'm saying he's working. There's a good chance he's working with them, and therefore he might know something about them. And as you said, we don't have a lot of ways of being able to interrogate the dead, but somebody living, we have a lot of ways of doing that.
But there's
How
no
do you
time
know
limit
that?
on him.
No, there is. If we go out after doing all of this and he learns that we talked to the dead, what's the next thing he's going to assume? I don't think we have an unlimited time limit, and
These drow
that might
could be as
narrow
little
down the
as
search.
3 miles away. We could be there in 20 minutes.
They're not 3 miles away. They're 3 miles to the place that they're now 17 hours ahead of us in.
And they could be camping just inside the entrance.
And then, but then nothing changes if we go and talk to the Archbishop.
What could change is by the time we finish talking to the Archbishop, they could have moved on, come out of that cave to do other heinous deeds. Like these.
At which point they can be tracked, because they would have spent, if that's the truth, then they have spent most of the night in one place. Therefore, the track's not going to be as cold.
I
But
would
we might get
also
more
ask,
information.
how exactly are you going to approach the Archbishop?
We have no reason to go speak with the Archbishop at this point in time, so talking to him will immediately flag his suspicion of us as investigating him. If we go to the drow, we might be able to find out information about the Archbishop prior to, thus having evidence to confront the Archbishop with.
And chances are, if he is
being involved.
If he is a vassal of the Duke, then he has probably been warned about us.
Then that just reinforces the argument that he's going to book it. Because we've been here talking.
And
Are
if he
very
books
hard
it, we
to
can follow
find.
him then.
If
What
we know
information
the
are we going
entrance,
to gain from him that is going to help us right now? If he knows,
I'm saying
and is
we could
suspicious of
narrow
us,
down
he's
our
going to be
search.
unwilling of answering any questions, anyways, and we'll just.
We're
leave us on
investigating the attempted assassination of a king. I don't think we necessarily have a lot of restraints on our hands at this point.
It is a power play, though, to say that
But
we
it
have
doesn't mean
captured
he
the
has to answer us,
drow,
honestly.
and we can force the Archbishop to tell us things, even if the drow do not. We just bluff.
Clarifying question. Ziraj, did you make it common knowledge to the group that you have a necklace that can read the minds?
Yeah, I said that out loud.
You mentioned that you have a necklace that allows you to read the thoughts of someone. What if we just go have a conversation with them and speak of the recent events and see if it causes anything to come to his mind that might be suspicious?
I was planning on doing this if we were to visit the Archbishop. But I also believe that perhaps there, one, could be concealing magics, and two, I think if we are able to frighten him, to get him to an emotional state, I may get clearer results.
And we could also just bluff, by the way. We have the head of a drow, and we have the ability of talking to the dead. We could just say that we've uncovered some information, various other things, if we necessarily feel like we need to during the conversation. We have ways of pushing. And he might know where these people are. That's what I'm trying to say. We could use that to try and narrow down the search and then not have to spend God knows how long searching through the Underdark.
I just don't think they've gone. Can we at least go to this place to see if it is, in fact, an entrance to the Underdark? It's 3 miles away.
Then we can split up. If there are 2 or potentially, more drow hiding out there, it could have been just a single part of a larger party, and we're split up, and the ones who go in the intelligent direction all get murdered because you want to go and speak to the Archbishop. I mean, I hope you could not engage. I will haunt you by that. Or you could just not engage and observe.
We've already established that this creature that they are riding is exceptionally fast and made to travel the Underdark. Even if we do chase after them right now, how are we going to follow them in the Underdark if they did keep going?
I don't believe they've gone into the Underdark. I believe they're in the entrance. That's my suspicion.
Then there is no rush. If that is what you believe, then there is no rush.
To be there? Right, and by the time we do eventually go and confront these drow, maybe they've killed another.
Their target seems to be
the not going to be murdering anybody.
Well,
the Archbishop is a gluttonous, fat old fool who is going to have others do his dirty work for him. He is not a time-limited threat. These drow are time-limited.
I don't believe so, and I also don't think the individuals that go and observe the entrance have to engage. If they observe the entrance and there is an encampment there, stay there, watch, and then we can if they go out on their own, we can log where they go, and then when everybody meets back up, we can work out a plan with extra information we may have gathered from the Archbishop and observational data we've got from the entrance if it's there.
Yeah,
and if it isn't, it's not. We send people to the entrance that are known to be fairly stealthy, are able to hide.
I am going to go and consult with Bahamut. Discuss it as you will. I will be back in 5 minutes. And Zedaar is going to stand up and just leave.
Okay.
I will be leaving in 5 minutes then.
So does Ruby.
Okay.
Valmyr, and look at the shock on her face, by the way. Ruby looks genuinely irritated and just walks away.
Can I roll an insight check to see if I understand who Ruby is irritated at?
Yes.
Or what?
Answer everybody.
Everybody.
Is, I guess.
That is the answer. It's everybody.
It's yes.
The party.
She's only pissed at Ziraj.
Zedaar, how are you consoling with Bahamut?
He is going to get out some offerings worth 25 gold pieces. I'm going to actually no, you know what? I said 5 minutes. I'm going to take 10 minutes because I'm going to ritually class divination.
Oh shit. Okay.
There you go.
And I'm going to ask Bahamut, because the way divination works is I can ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. And my question is, if we immediately chase after the murderers of these 2 individuals, are we going to catch up with them or find a lead behind them? basically, is it in our best interest to immediately chase after them or follow other events?
Follow other leads.
Okay. You sit down in front of the main altar of the cathedral, as you feel like it's the place of most religious significance within this.
He's basically got 3
afternoon.
platinum pieces that he will just kind of set on the counter and act as an offering.
The stained glass ricochets a multitude of coloured light onto the platinum, and with a deep breath, you feel his presence there. You may ask your question.
So yes, he will say,
Bahamut, we find ourselves at an impasse and guidance needed. If we chase immediately after this murderer, will we find him, or is it a fool's errand?
Okay. Not.
That's a very open-ended question.
yeah.
I just realized because you didn't
Which
put a
is-
time limit on when you're going to get the lead.
It's
Well,
within
no,
7 days.
the spell is within 7 days, so.
That's still pretty.
All
right.
Just.
I mean, if we can't dedicate 7 days to trying to find him, then yes, we should just go talk to the Archbishop. Like,
It's true.
Hold on, I've never spoken as Bahamut before, so.
Does it actually come out as speech, or is it more just like you have a feeling of warmth or something like that?
this is not a cryptic answer. This is the god gives you a god. The DM offers a truthful reply.
Oh, okay.
The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen, but it is a truthful reply.
I know,
Love
lying
poking
ass
a mic-
bed
I don't know
people.
why we
Poking a
keep saying this
microphone.
either, but Zedaar is searching for answers, guys, and nobody's giving him any, so he's using magic.
You're
Roll an
using
insight
faith.
check on God.
Yeah,
Okay,
Vomit just
so,
pokes a microphone. Can
you
hear me?
take you
Conrad?
I was just setting something up. Zedaar, you feel a wash over you of where you feel a connection has been made.
If it is information you seek, then the path forward towards the hills will do you well. But you shan't find your quarry there. But be ever watchful when you sleep.
And that's what you get.
Zedaar opens his eyes from essentially, I imagine, a vision that he's having of this. The platinum pieces have all kind of dissipated and vanished away because the spell is consumed. And he is going to take that immediately to the party, which I imagine Ruby probably hasn't returned to, and said,
I went outside with Stone as well. I was kind of going to do something similar, but I was going to sit down in front of Stone and just kind of like stare in his eyes and just create a connection and be like, what are we going to do here, buddy? Like, what are we going to do? Because, like, you're my
I don't think
companion,
anyone's
you've
gotten
got,
far
like, a
enough.
lean on.
I mean, this is 10 minutes, so
Then Zedaar probably
everyone's
just bang up the
around. At
tubes,
least.
open it up to the entire ship, and just say,
I have received a reading from Bahamut. Meet me in the galley if you want to know what he said in the next minute or so.
Alright.
It's about 5 minutes over when he said he'd get back. So.
That's like the ghost of Mufasa.
Simba.
Ruby's gonna come back with a cup. Ruby's
It's
coming back with
remarkably
ice cream.
close. It's remarkably
Thanks.
close.
I will take being James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
so Zedaar will probably just be standing there waiting impatiently for everyone to show up, and once the room is filled up, he will just say,
I asked Bahamut because it seemed like we needed guidance there. And he told me that if we follow our quarry into the mountains, we will not find our quarry specifically, but it would serve us as useful information. That we would find something that we are looking for going towards that direction.
Okay, so we won't find him there.
He also mentioned specifically that we should be very careful when we sleep.
We sleep on an airship.
Yeah, we could just be
Not
in the
if
air.
we're going to be tracking him in the Underdark, we don't.
Unless there's some sort of Ashrak or something from Stargate. Sorry, that was a pull. I just
I,
rewatched.
The important thing is, it seems the advice we have been given says we should pursue the path into the mountains, not the Archbishop.
Your god seems like a pretty smart fella. Then let's go.
But specifically, the reason we were going up into the mountains was because, or the reason you wanted to go there was because we'd find them there and we can confront and kill them. But that's been
Darius,
We go
please
there,
stop
and
raising
then-
arguments of everything.
I'm making a valid argument.
You are getting
With-
this close to me, torch frying your ass. Let's
Oh.
just do something.
We've made a
Yeah,
choice. Let us go. And I'm gonna
Then go.
walk
I'm gonna
out
go
of the galley
confront.
with Stone, and we're gonna go
Okay.
out up top. deck.
Zep, you have a heading to give to. I can't remember his name.
August.
Marcus. Thank you. You
This
have
guy
a
had
heading for
captain.
Marcus.
Okay.
Yeah,
with
I've already been talking with him about this.
with a decision made, we will take our break. So join us in 10 minutes time where we will be back with the second half of this. I need to go get another drink because I'm losing my voice.
You're losing your voice.
You don't have to talk like this.
Huge.
The world of Valdirus is one of old empires and new nations, of emerging new ideas combating the beliefs of the past. Civilization slowly crawls back from the dark ages so recently ended, but the deep forests and dark corners of even the wealthiest nations remained untouched and filled with corruption. The root cause? A great schism in the hearts of the faithful.
In the name of the 5 wisdoms and that of the divine legate, you have been found guilty of heresy and shall be judged by Orth in the afterlife.
Children of the Church of Glass, raise your tools and arms, your pitchforks and mattocks. Cast aside the plowshares and take up the call to war, as your right to faith and life is at stake.
As an age of enlightenment dawned, an era of closed-mindedness followed. But it was the common folk who truly suffered the most.
Fight for his king.
34 years of bloodshed and hurt. Some cannot even recall a time of peace, and it shows no signs of slowing. In a world shrouded in such darkness, it's a wonder how anyone survives.
Welcome back. We are back with the second half of tonight's broadcast. We left off as the party made a decision, mostly to go towards the hills. Darius, you said you might be doing something different, if I'm not mistaken. It sounded like before we cut off, you hinted at possibly still going to the Archbishop.
I'm thinking about it because I have an ability of like adding a shitload to all of my charisma-based checks for interrogation, like social-based encounter things. But if nobody else is going with me, then I'm not going to do that. Okay. And if he's gone by the time I get here, I will be insufferable.
Okay. So
as opposed to
Okay, fun. Never mind, Beth. You just jumped all over me and took my thunder. Thanks, Beth.
You were thinking it. So you continue on, and I apologize that I'm eating, because we don't have a kitchen in this house, so I'm enjoying some disgusting pizza that was made in a microwave. So
how else do you eat pizza?
Hey, at least it's deep dish, Roach.
Proper way.
Might actually be why I'm struggling with it more, because this isn't pizza. Anyway, you set a course, and not 20 minutes pass before you're at the hills, which resemble what you think could match your map's description.
Do I see any Underdark-esque flora or fauna?
From the air? No.
Alright. Sure. I thought we were walking.
No, you flew on the skyship.
Okay.
You can dismount though and have a better investigation.
Yeah, we'll land and.
Okay.
Thought walking might be a better idea, but it's okay.
I mean, you can change that and not fly if you guys think it better.
If time's of the essence, 20 minutes.
Just a landing and takeoff time. But yeah, no, I mean, sure, we're in the airship. I guess dismount and have a look around then.
Okay.
Does anyone want to help me? Hey, Gourd, you're good at plants and shit.
I was gonna kind of mapping our progress, I guess, from where we left, and kind of trying to keep a track of like general idea of where like the cathedral was, where those guys took off from, and the way that we went, and kind of try and see if there's a general area that would be better to land versus others that would kind of bring us closer towards our trail.
Okay. I will say, due to your training, you don't need to roll for that, but you sit down kind of in the direction you think. I need a group investigation check as you check this area out. The DC will change per person depending on what you tell me you're looking for, or you can give another person in the party advantage or disadvantage on their portion of the roll, but there is a roll target I need you guys to hit. You may all do investigation, but you may weigh nature, you may weigh other things. This is a group check for essentially getting on this.
Is it a forest biome?
You are in hills right now.
Okay.
Is it a hilly forest, though?
I'm just asking for favorite terrain purposes.
Valmyr is going to make use of the feat that he picked up during his level up. And I'm going to reroll that with lucky.
Okay.
Sure.
Can't get much worse than
No, but it's not much better either. But it's not a nat 1. It's not a nat 1.
Sorry, I should re-say that if you're not specifying a way to use a different skill, it will be an investigation roll.
What have I got that's any...
So I was gonna, as far as doing that for survival, was what I was gonna ask to roll, and I'm going to try and identify, like, terrain usually shifts around, like, fissures or caverns or something like that, so, trying to kind of get a lay of the land and see, like, which direction or which kind of shifting, like what's the wayward side or leeward side, like what side or which direction would kind of bring us towards an area that would be more, likely to have a cave or cavern system.
Sure. You may roll your survival on that.
Sorry, I haven't rolled. Zedaar, I know I've been using a lot of spells for Zedaar today. He's going to go ahead and cast another spell. It's a newer spell that we haven't seen much. I'm going to cast Borrowed Knowledge on myself.
Oh, I don't know what that does.
It is from... what is Borrowed Knowledge?
Proficiency.
Yeah, it gives me proficiency for an hour.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to get my proficiency. I'm going to get myself proficiency in investigation.
Okay.
Cool. Nice.
So this is at a +3.
Somebody needs to roll.
Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There we go.
Would
For
I
reference,
be able to use Stone's perception, sniffing a rag to see if you could pick up a scent?
Yes, absolutely.
I did take that cloth.
You did.
I'm also going to use Harness Divine Power so that I don't use that spell slot up.
Stat block up. I just had it.
for reference, Midge, what I rolled my investigation for specifically, just to weigh kind of Darius's knowledge of things, is the fact that Beast of Burden, mounts, that kind of thing, no matter if they're being quartered somewhere or not, will leave a telltale mark on the ground, even for short periods of transit. So I'm looking for obvious places where they might have bunched up for a second or two, trampled the foliage.
We also know what its tracks are. We've seen its tracks before.
Well, I'm more specifically looking for the path. I'm not looking for that, because if it's in the middle of the hills, I'm just looking for well-traveled paths, and then we can kind of like,
so
zone in on one.
So that's 8. What's my perception?
I don't think we got it though, guys. I'm gonna be honest.
So
Got nat 20.
even so,
I'll give a flash of genius to Gourd, so he's a 15.
okay, helps a little bit. You spend.
That was the Drake's perception
Oh,
of
okay.
the rag, so 4, and then it would have +2, +3, so 5, so 9.
Okay. You spend a few hours at this point fanning out and searching. You decided that to go in sort of buddy system, not stray too far, but some of you get carried away with things that you think might be leads. Valmyr having to rush to another group to check if it is flora or fauna from the Underdark or anything he recognizes. Until finally, Zedaar, there's a warm breeze that graces your neck, much like the mountain air of Atria, but just for a moment gets your head to turn. And you see, jutting out of the ground, a rock, probably, or a boulder, probably 2 foot high. The underside of it, at first you thought it was a shadow, but the underside of it looks to have a purple hue. And as you walk towards it, suddenly your nostrils flare and you percept a rotting smell that you can't see where.
I'm sorry, who was this to?
You.
Oh, that was to me. You were talking to Valmyr, and I thought you were still talking to him.
No, I said Zedaar.
I'm sorry, I heard you talking to Valmyr saying what he was searching back and forth, so I assumed you were still talking to him. Then I imagine he would just kind of wave a hand in the air and just kind of like draw people's attention over to where he was.
Okay. You all gather. And now that you're in this, as you get closer to this rock, you all too pick up this smell of rot.
Do I recognize the smell?
No, outside of rot, no. But Valmyr, as you look at the stone, you're like, this has been brought up. It's on the top. It's been like it's been covered by moss and detritus of the natural areas, so kind of blends in. But as you look, this has been implanted here from the Underdark. This rock.
Guess I'll share that with the group. I think we're in the right place, guys.
How big is the rock? Is it like a boulder or like a little,
It's like
like a
2
little...
foot, sort of, you out of the ground anyway. There's about 2 foot, kind of wedge shaped. So much so that you kind of have to look under it to see what you're talking about.
It's a small boulder the size of a large boulder.
You don't know the size of boulders in this world.
It's not just a boulder; it's a rock. You guys have a joke.
Would it be too difficult to move?
You can give it a try, but Zep, what were you going to say?
The smell of rot, is it anything like the smell that we smelled under the barn?
Ooh, give me an intelligence check. No, this smells like meat rot.
It is not similar to what we have encountered before. This is more food rotting. Or maybe a corpse.
Did they kill their mount, perhaps? Is there an entrance by this boulder, or is it just a boulder?
You don't see anything that, like... So this boulder, like, is at the foot of a crevasse between multiple hills, where it's kind of a bit steeper, but it's not hugely steep, and all you see is around the sides, rock wall bushes. There's nothing that visibly smells like it or matches the smell.
Gourd, can stone bring us to the location where this smell originates from?
We can try. Stone? Think you can find out where this has come from?
Give me a roll for stone.
Alright, so that's gonna be...
Does he have advantage on smell perception? Is he one of those creatures?
I have the stat card pulled up. It's not like a
Well, it's
wolf
not
or anything like
yeah,
that.
okay, because I know dogs and some animals do have.
Yeah, no, he's just got a +2 on his wisdom. His passive perception is 12. He doesn't have anything special, just dark vision. So it's just gonna be...
Go for it.
20. So that'd be great.
He looks at it and kind of just starts sniffing the rock. You look at it and you're like, wait a minute. You'll get it in a moment. But no,
I told you to stay out of Marcus's room. No, who is it?
Oh, Moses.
Moses. I told you to stay out of Moses's room. Not the rock. The stuff under the rock.
I guess we can try and follow.
Is there any indicating tracks or anything like that?
Roll me a survival check.
Does my investigation?
No, because that was part
of
part of the group check to meet a DC. That was to define how quickly or how well you found whatever it is you were looking for.
So,
what's actually under the
19.
rock? Like, you said there's a purple glow coming from it.
So it's not a purple glow. It's like the rock itself is slightly purplish. But the coloration of it was masked on the top by moss and other detritus.
Okay, is there anything underneath it?
No, it just seems to be just a rock that's been, but it does look to be buried here. But again, a long time ago. It's been here a while.
Yeah.
Darius, with your survival, you pick up on this smell. You move towards the cavern area, and it's definitely getting like the crevassy sort of between the hills. It's definitely getting stronger, the smell. And you're looking around and you see bone that is torn away. It's got a little bit of flesh on it, but with that you see blood that goes towards a rock face. And then seems like the puddle slightly is cut in half.
Can I chuck a rock at the rock face?
You may. And the rock goes through it.
Alright. I signaled everybody, and I don't go through because I'm not going to do that alone. But I indicate and throw like a small little pebble when everybody gets nearby. Just kind of want to be quiet, so I'm trying to indicate let's not until we know it's.
Can you describe how you threw it, just for my own knowledge?
Like underhand, like
Underarm,
so. I'm not
okay.
trying to. I'm not trying to.
You're not
huck
hocking
the
it.
thing.
Okay.
Hucking the thing, and I just hear it drown.
Sure.
Ow! Like on the other side. It's
I need to quickly get some dice.
1d4 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, can we get a like a measuring gun out here to see what the MPH on the pitch was?
I mean, Darius does favor thrown weapons quite a bit. He can't throw a mean axe, so maybe.
I bought a new set of dice, and it's kind of component cast colored dice. So
Why do you need the dice, Midge?
You'll see.
Why do you need them?
Mm-hmm.
Get worried when he rolls in like physical dice. That's.
Oh boy.
Honestly, half the time I
don't
roll
like
dice.
boy either. I don't like.
I'm gonna be honest. Half the time when I roll dice as a GM, I'm just fucking with the players. I'm just rolling
an hourglass for that exact purpose. When the party's speaking too long, I just flip the hourglass for no reason at all.
Flip it. They'll just be talking. I'll just roll a d20. I'll just go. I'll just look back up.
You mean this?
It's just,
That is the best way to get players just make a decision and do something.
Oh hell yeah.
yeah. I've got a 1 minute. And I got a 5 minute timer for that.
Okay, Darius, you turn. You go get everyone kind of quietly, and as you come back, the rock you threw is back where you threw it.
I didn't leave. I was indicating. Was what I was saying.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You turn and then you look at your feet to where you picked up the rock, just as a glance, and it's there.
This is concerning.
Is it in the exact same place from where he picked it up, or is it like just back outside of the?
It's the
cave?
exact same place where he picked it up.
Is it like those wandering stones in the Mojave Desert where it looks like it's moved itself across the salt flats, or is it?
That doesn't really work when someone's thrown it. So.
Okay, all right. Just making sure. Okay, I'll explain quietly because I don't know if this is a two-way mirror or if it's like situation or what.
Arc in there, so I don't mind going first.
I actually would like to, before we go in, can I cast Detect Portal?
Oh, yes, you may.
I gain the ability to magically sense the presence of a planar portal. I can detect the distance and direction within 1 mile of me.
Sure. About 30 meters away from you is a portal to the Feywild.
Okay, well, that's not great. No, we can't. No.
Is that in the direction of the weird thing?
Oh, yeah, just think of your
A
directionality.
little behind it.
We can't do, as a player, we can't do that. We'll be in there for years if we roll badly.
Is the Underdark able to connect to the Feywild as well as our home?
I mean, I've never been there. I don't know.
You said it out loud.
Yeah, I share that with everyone.
Okay.
What do you mean a Feywild? What are you talking about?
So this portal goes to the Feywild.
That's a portal, not just
Yeah.
like a
It's.
magic
I want to say that it's whatever the wall is. The thing you sensed is behind it, but like by a little bit of a way. So not directly, is it? Just to clarify that description.
I'm gonna do something terrible. I might die. Okay, I would like to stick my head
I love it
through
when a
the
player says that.
illusory wall, and I would like to check for tracks.
I'm stopping her.
Okay.
leading to the.
I would not
Make
let
make
her
make a
face
sh-
get that
make
close to
make
the
make.
You're saying you're stopping her, and I was gonna say Zedaar does it with her.
Oh no. So okay,
no.
Gourd. Both of them are going towards the thing. I will allow you to make a strength check on at least one of them, whichever you feel like you want to take.
I'm throwing a mental command then to Stone to grab the other one.
Okay,
I'm
sure.
just stopping these two.
Contested strength checks to make
Isn't
them stop.
Stone the size of like a cat?
No, he can fly
contest
him now.
Stone is now
I
medium,
also
and I
kinda
can
wanna-
ride him, which
I
I
wanna
have
poke-
been.
I want to poke my glaive through the illusory wall.
Oh yeah,
damn it.
Stone is out for the first time since you leveled. You guys notice a pretty decent sized like horse, small like tiger sized drake with wings now in place of what
Oh.
Stone was before.
Bit of a glow up.
It's pretty cool.
Become swole.
How did I not notice that before?
When was the last time we saw Stone?
Yesterday.
Wasn't it back at the cathedral when he was talking to Stone?
Yes.
Yeah, overnight. This
Yeah,
happened
this
overnight.
has happened overnight.
Jesus.
Oh, I forgot. The next time you were going to get him out, we were going to do this whole thing, but he's just out.
I know,
So
it's like, yeah, no, he hadn't been out since last session, and I was like, oh, okay, well, how are we gonna?
it's just you guys slept. You woke up.
yeah,
There's a
so-
bigger dragon with you.
With the revelation that it is a illusion covering it, Ruby is going to cast Dispel Magic.
Okay.
All right.
So
Can I check for
Stone
the
Stone and Gourd
checkies?
stop these. Actually, no. Roll your checks. It's contested strength. So strength
Yep.
save from if you wish to pass it. That is.
Can I
from-
do acrobatics and try to
Yes.
lightly get away?
You can. And Zedaar, if you're not resisting, then it's an auto success.
I rolled a 16.
Oh, okay. So
I rolled a 15.
So
Gourd,
so
strength for you,
Gourd's
and
gotta go against. Gourd's going for Zaraj, like I had already said, and then Stone will be going for Zedaar. So for me, that's gonna be a strength check, right?
and the same for
And
the Drake.
Gourd. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll this. Oh wait, no, I gotta actually look at his modifier. So that's for me to stop Zaraj.
Okay, you just about managed to stop Jiraj, kind of in a backwards hug, kind of like, oh no, you don't.
So this
Like,
plus
what
3.
is the curious toddler was about to touch the open electrical wire, and you've just grabbed them from behind. Like, what's it called? Like, have you ever seen those Hero Dad compilations where they just grab the toddler before they do something crazy? Kind of that.
So that would be a 13 plus for proficiency, or it's a 16 because it's plus strength and then proficiency.
So it's
right?
the
Would be a
16
19, right?
matches. Who wins in a match, right?
Defender.
It beats.
Defender.
Defender wins in strength. Okay. Then, if it's a 16 total, you said 16 total, right?
Yeah, unless I had proficiency bonus. But
Zedaar, you feel the stone sort of nip at your heel, and you go, hey, and then go towards it. But as you go to touch,
It is all right.
as you go to touch it, Ruby sets off Dispel Magic. Can you drop Dispel Magic in chat for me so I can double check the ruling on things?
This gets rid of the portal.
No, she's casting it on the illusion.
You have to pick a thing. So she's asked for the illusion rule, but I
It won't let me link it? Question mark.
grab the dragon. Just drop the dragon in chat. Should be. There you go.
Okay. It just says Dispel Magic to me, but
Yeah, no, and then I can click the dragon and it opens.
Okay.
Okay. I need you to make an. Is it me that makes the ability check or you?
I do.
You. I need you to make an ability check.
I'm going to use my point of inspiration on this.
Okay.
1 moment. Let me go to my charisma. 22. Goodbye.
And it fades, revealing a scarred entrance to what seems to be a deep tunnel. Which, now that the illusion has failed, Darius, you look down and the rock has gone from next to your foot again. Seems like there was a few things in this area that were illusionary. Some of the trees kind of fade away and turn to like dead trees rather than the open
Hallucinatory
Wait.
terrain.
How could that? Because I picked up a rock.
So there was a rock.
Hallucinatory terrain.
But no, I picked up a physical
Hallucinatory
rock.
terrain.
You don't understand the
You don't get
magics that
magic.
you're working with.
There's a real
And
rock and the illusion
Magic.
rock. Zed conflicting with each other.
and
guess
now that the illusion's also gone,
Shot. No.
you hear running water coming from the gap in front of you.
Makes me have to pee.
God, the ammonia.
I'll well, like,
Oh my god, everybody knows where Mirage Peak.
This is mine now.
Wow. I mean, you are a rogue. I mean, it's kind of what you do, right?
You think it was the illusion that killed the tree.
I'm gonna quickly like realize like that had grabbed
Yeah.
Siraj the way I did and go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And so yeah, the number of the trees are dead. The carpet, the carpet? It's not carpet. The grass.
castle! I knew it!
The grass around you is also sort of hued. It's got like a kind of bluish ichor to it, and the dirt is of a fine grey dust.
I don't think this is the Feywild. The Feywild is supposed to be a place of life. This is...
We're not in the... We just...
No, the portal.
Down there.
Yes, I understand that.
The detect portal, I believe, is supposed to... Well, let me double check.
Something is layered here.
It doesn't give you an exact... Like, it doesn't, like, stay for a present amount of time, according to what I've found. So it's not like a radar ping. You just know that there is one 30 meters in this hole.
I just want to see if it tells me where it goes.
Doesn't it tell you just like the plane
No.
it goes to?
It doesn't even say the plane it goes to, just the
Oh.
distance and direction of the closest planar portal within 1 mile of you. I'll put it in chat.
Well, I will still rule that. I think you would know what plane they go to, because I think I've ruled it so far that I told you what plane the previous one went to,
Okay.
as well. So, or if I
Are
didn't,
there
for now you know that there is
tracks
a. Yes.
leading?
And another thing that is
Our-
revealed with this, you see a small pile of about 3 bovine carcasses right nestled at the entrance.
This is where they camped. But why would they come from the Feywild? This is... I don't understand.
Unless the Feywild is another trap.
At the end of this tunnel, because I've got like super duper dark vision, whatever. I can.
It's the tunnel kind of bends really quickly, so you don't actually get like a clear view down. You'd have to explore in.
I would like to go in, but I don't like. If I see there is a portal, I ain't going through the portal. I'm
You
just
don't
kinda
see a
wondering
portal.
If it's
What? This is magic. Just take like a handful of I don't know, of copper pieces, and like every couple of steps, throw one in front of you, and once you see it disappear, that's where it is.
Use
Yes,
rocks. Copper pieces is money. You people are so rich. Please stop wasting money.
because I kind of want to see right if there is, you know, the tunnel forks and the left path is Feywild portal and the right path is down into Underdarkness.
Just
I would
stick in front of you.
Yeah.
Just have something that you don't have to go through.
5-foot stick.
It could just not show up.
My glaive.
You do not want to sacrifice that.
Yeah, it might.
I don't actually need to sacrifice it.
Just as a quick.
What happens if it ends up in another plane? Then you are.
Then it dissipates and I can recall it.
Very interesting.
I'm gonna huck a stone down the hallway.
Sure,
I'm
it
gonna
bounces
actually
off
huck
the
it,
wall.
'cause I'm further ahead.
It goes whizzes past his Valmyr's like shoulder, bounces off the wall, and goes around the corner slightly.
All right, you're
Gourd,
good tell there.
Gourd, I need you to roll a deception check, please, against the passive perception of the party.
Do you even need to roll? We suck at that.
Yeah, no, you guys probably won't need to roll.
Gourd is looking a little bit shaken right now, considering the weird turn of events. More so than you've ever seen him.
hair's
I'm
kind
not
of
going to
on it.
acknowledge it because that's going to.
Siraj thinks it's because he inappropriately grabbed her and stopped her from what she was trying to do. She's pissed off.
I'm too interested in the tunnel.
But I would say that definitely because they've got the higher passive perception. Zedaar, you notice that Gourd is like, his eyes are like looking rapidly around, and like he is like on edge massively.
What is the problem, Gourd?
Oh God.
We do not want to mess with this.
Oh, we do not.
Why?
That's where most of my life was lost.
Okay. I don't have a frame of reference for that. I don't understand what you mean.
In
You
plan our
remember that
travel,
little bit I told you.
Zedaar, in terms of
So I guess nobody's making checks about this anymore. We just know these things.
No. I sent you a message a while back.
I've made this check a long time ago.
When would we have made a check about the Feywild?
We were
I'm
in
going
Modron.
off for the fact that there are folk tales about the Feywild, and so all Darius knows is that there are fairies that'll steal your blood.
No,
and you don't eat anything there.
Well, it's a big thing in the human societies, especially at the moment, because
Okay.
but the thing,
If there's a precedent to know about it,
there's a huge precedent to know about the Feywild because of the Eledrian Empire, and one of the reasons they're so bitter about everything is because they were forced to lose their major connections to the Feywild, and they couldn't freely transverse, and nor could their gods anymore. So, they know the Feywild is known to exist and still has some hold because, like all volatile and chaotic magics, you can't really fully get rid of anything, but like true control is like, yeah. But again, it's another one of those things of there are very few places now left on Longreach, again for the very similar reasons of why the Underdark entrances have been closed, that areas to the Feywild exist.
I would, however, see if we could close it.
Valmyr, can the Underdark go to the Feywild? Do you guys know of fairies down there?
I'd imagine we know of them.
It's a similar state to the the thing is about the Underdark is another level of the material plane. The Feywild is a transitive plane parallel to. We're getting into cosmology here. One requires a portal, one requires you to walk. So, like, it's a similar story. There might be a few more entrances and exits because there hasn't been the same sort of history as there has been on the overworld. But yeah, there's not like, oh yeah, we got one on every street corner. It's not like that kind of thing.
I mean, it is entirely possible that there is a portal to the Feywild in the Underdark. I just personally do not know of any locations of them.
What if these drow use it as a doorway to lessen the travel from down below to up here by just shortcut?
These drow are not from the same area as where I'm from. These are
Mapping a
much...
place that is born of chaotic energies and magic such as that is not very simple.
My own family is from very close to the surface. We guard one of the entrances to the Underdark. This clan that has attacked the king, I recognize their sigil. They are from much deeper. I don't have as much experience with much of my deeper kin.
Midge, obviously they were explaining how there is a time dilation that can occur for people who travel through the Feywild. Zedaar knows a lot about religion, and obviously that connects to certain planes that exist in the cosmology scale, maybe not the Feywild. Would he have an understanding that with those with the right know-how, if you were to go into another plane, would travel there be exponentially faster and you could cover larger distances because those planes don't work in the same way?
You could give me a quick religion check at this.
Sure. I'm gonna
with
guide myself for this.
disadvantage, but
I am going to roll that again.
that's fine.
Oh, the disadvantage.
Hey, it's
What
still a
is it with us
6
in
plus
ones
whatever
today?
guidance with guidance. Possibly, but you don't know about the Feywild enough to know if the dilation could work. But if time is different, what might be the same length of time for the travel on the surface if the distance between portals physically is closer, this is just your innate knowledge, you could get there within, for example, 2 hours travel within the Feywild. While it might be harder, might get you 2 weeks to where you're going, and it might, it might be parallel, but you might be more ready. There is that possibility, but because of how time is always going forward with every plane and every connection, especially the ones closer to the material plane of Elendor, everything goes forward. Nothing has ever reverted. Not even the gods you know of in any text ever have reverted the course of history.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just establishing if there was a precedent for because the planes are technically infinite and the way you travel them is more mental than physical. So I don't know if that, I was wondering if that would be something that would apply to the Feywild. And I guess with the knowledge from Zedaar would just also...
So are they using the Feywild to move around more efficiently?
It is theorized that though the fastest point between two places is a straight line, you could subvert it by traveling between portals, yes.
As soon as you say that, Zedaar picks up a stick off the ground and he holds it up in a straight line. It's like, you mean, and he's gonna bend the two ends of the stick together so they're touching each other.
Yes, just like that.
You get the reference, Roach?
Yes, I think everybody got the reference.
Yeah, I love that.
All right. Let's move on.
Sorry, I got that. I love that.
All right.
How do they work?
A planar warrior, would I know it? Like, if I stick my head through a portal, does it suck me in, or does
You
it
get
just...
Minecrafted, all of you.
yeah, or is it just like
Because it depends. It would depend on the type of plane.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
I think you'd lose 1/9 of your hit points.
Again, it would depend. I would. So if the time, it depends one on how the portal has been made, who it's been made by, how the dilation works between those planes of existence. There's a lot of factors. I'm not sure if all of them you'd have a good fully grasp of, because
So what you're saying is you can put your hand in there and that'll age 2 weeks by the time you bring it back out.
I just want to know, I want to stick a stick in there or something and see if it grabs the whole stick, or
again, you guys have not found a portal yet. I will put this out. You have found a curve.
No.
You found a curve to a wall.
I'll go forward.
No.
Should
Please,
we move
let me-
stealthy?
Ruby, go first. She has a point.
We've all determined that going into this portal would be tantamount to suicide, as we would potentially miss majority of our deadlines. I think the safest bet is to secure or destroy or dispel the portal, not to travel through it.
Don't want to travel through it. I want to see if there is more than just this portal in this cave.
I think Zaraj would be able to detect that if that was the case.
I think what he's asking, if the cave continues like this way, but the portal's just here kind of like as a wall, but is there more normal material plane cave behind it? Is that...
Or is there just a portal off to the side of a path that goes down? Yeah,
exactly.
You can't detect if there's a passage.
Yeah, that's what, if there's a fork in the cave and the portal's on one end and there's a path on the other, I want to.
I understand. That. Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Zep, what are you doing at this time? I know that Zep is I know Mordred might be melting, but Zep is a curious fellow. He has just seen an illusionary wall dispelled in front of him, and he hears whispers of a portal to the Feywild and planar travel and possibly time dilation. So, with that in mind, what has Zep been doing?
Zep has been standing there with his detect magic device, turning various dials and ritually casting detect magic.
Okay. You detect a huge source of magic, not necessarily tied to a school, but you sense a magic ahead. It doesn't seem like it's like it's not like you're gonna turn this corner and hit a trap, but about the same sort of distance at where this portal might be, there is a huge like ding of magic filling an area.
So there is a pool of magic ahead of us, which I would assume is the portal. It is large. I had perhaps anticipated it might have been a small trick. If you touch a lantern or something like this, you get pulled through, but no, this seems to be a large element ahead of us somewhere.
If anything, it would be conjuration in nature.
Possibly of some kind of conjuration. I do not know anything about this form of magic, though. This is completely out of my speciality. But there's definitely something large ahead.
I would be curious to see just what visual indicators would be down there, but if Gourd is given this much pause and Ruby is warning against it, then I do not think going through it is the best idea, no. But surely we can at least see what we are dealing with here, and then perhaps worry if we can get rid of it, if that is the best course of action.
Or if there are other passages.
Yeah. I have no intention of going through the portal. I just want to explore the cave a little bit.
Then I'm glad we have agreed. Let's push forward.
How big is the opening?
Enough to fit a medium-sized creature through.
Single file.
Single file. It goes down like 10 meters and then like sharp bends to the left.
Yep.
Because that's where the ricochet, and you don't know what it's like around the corner because no one's looked.
Yeah, me and Stone I'll start, and then with
I already started walking forward.
Yeah, Valmyr's first for sure.
Valmyr's midway down the hall.
I'm gonna start going in, and
He's actually been yelling back at us as we're having this discussion. Guys, it's
Val-
fine. Just come already.
Valmyr gets to the corner first, and Valmyr, you see in between like
mites are on the floor because they might poke you in the butt.
Thank you. Stalagmites, and then
You're the second person I've ever met that knows that reference. Thank you.
Stalagmites and some subsidence and like the sort of the crevice. It's hard to get through, but you could squeeze through like relatively easy. You see what seems to be a grove, and then like hidden under the hill with a few trees, a bit of grass, and a river.
Looks much more Fey-wildy around here. Do we see anything that looks like a portal?
Nothing that looks like a portal. But if Zep...
Start throwing stones randomly.
But Zep is still detect magic, right?
Yeah.
So as you all get there, it's single file, so you kind of have to keep switching to look.
I'm small, I can go between their legs.
Yes, that's true. Zep, you rush forward and you see that the river is glowing.
The river is the portal. It was a literal pool of magical power.
So don't go in the river.
Don't drink the water. Noted.
I'm gonna throw a dagger into the river.
The river, there is not even a splash, it just goes. It doesn't break the surface. And the river is running. And you look across it, there seems to be a bridge that's been destroyed. It's weird because it kind of falls towards the river and then disappears. It's like the break is so clean because the bridge itself has been transited. And then there is another pathway across as you all squeeze through. And where you are now is like a cave that has been covered in an illicit, vibrant moss from the Feywild. There's a tree in here as well that is shimmering a little bit of light as well.
check for those 6-footed lizard tracks on the on the floor, but also the walls and ceiling?
Okay, sure.
How wide across is the river, just from reference?
It looks about 30 foot. It is a big stream of water. And the weird thing is, it stops and starts at the walls. It's like it's coming
flowing out of rock into rock.
Flowing out of rock into rock.
At a 16 survival.
Okay. I need quickly Gourd to make a nature check.
Did it grab it? Yeah, okay. That was good. 12, yeah, 12.
So you start looking at the tree. And you hear singing.
Nope.
Like a light, airy singing in... I need to double check your language. What languages do you speak?
Skills, abilities.
Where it has all the roles.
Elvish, Neonin, Primordial, Sylvan.
Okay. In
Draconic
Sylvan.
and Common.
And in Sylvan, you hear this illustrious singing of... Traveller who has entered my grove, come sit beneath my blue dappled bark. I will give you a love that you've never felt before.
This is only
Gourd.
Only Gourd. Okay.
But the rest of you looking on this relatively beautiful grove. This tree has it's like a bluish bark with pink blossoms, and there's like little wisps of light within the tree. But Zaraj, with that roll, what was it you were specifically looking for again? Sorry.
Tracks of the drow mount to see if it went through the portal or if it went up and around, because I know that it can climb trees, so I'm assuming it can climb the walls of the cave as well.
You start going towards the wall and you see like dust, like travel dust, tracked up the wall.
And it goes over the river, correct?
Yes.
Like I believe that the drow did not use this portal. I believe that they went up and around. The tracks continue on the other side of this river.
I can easily get us over the river. This is not a problem.
Well, we'd have to figure out how high, because the bridge cuts off and it's above the water, so we have to figure out where it's...
How far did you say it was across?
The river, it's 30 foot.
Yeah. 30 foot.
Gourd, you're still hearing this singing.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shoot.
It was nice having a ranger in the party.
Yeah.
A ranger?
I mean, he's a ranger cleric, right?
Yeah, Gourd's primarily a
Sure.
ranger.
He's disposable after he stopped me from going into my illusory
So
wall.
close. So close.
What? So close, like that. Okay.
Do you have
You
inspiration?
really want to go take a sit down by this tree.
Good.
Is it
Oh,
on
that's
the other
too
side of the
late.
bank?
No. It's
Oh,
it's
okay.
this side.
Okay.
It's just next to us.
And Gourd, as
'Cause I
you go
was-
over, there seems to be like one of the petals by the near the bottom of the tree it's like filled with sap. And you have this overwhelming urge to drink it.
Can I make
Hold
an
on,
insight check to see if there's
hold on.
anything funky going on with him?
Can I perceive? I have or I could do my passive.
I mean, the only person's passive
Okay.
that's high enough to kind of see the because you're all actively investigating things. Zedaar, you do notice Gourd is like completely enamored by this tree.
And I imagine with what he just said and his speaking of his fear, Gourd would not find any of this enticing. He would find this infuriating. I imagine Zedaar is just going to give him a grip on the shoulder and be like, Gourd, where are you going?
Gourd's gone over to the tree. Like properly. He is over. It's like you notice it, but he's already walking kind of thing.
What a day to not have protection from evil.
Darius takes out his sword. There's a fairy here, and it's going to take somebody's blood. That's what's happening.
Sure. Wait until we tell you about the brownie on the ship. I mean, what?
I imagine Zedaar just gonna follow along. He's like snapping in front of his face. Gourd!
Yeah, you can't wait. Like you can't get him. And Zedaar, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure. He rolled a 19. I'm sure I can do better than that.
This is bad.
20.
Oh, thank Christ.
Zedaar, you hear
Thank
singing
Father.
and suddenly stop. You're like, this is not a language I understand. Do you understand, Sylvan? Just double checking this. Yeah. This is not a language I understand. This is ethereal music out of nowhere. Start reciting prayers in your head of Bahamut. And you're like,
Counter song.
Can I tell where it's coming from?
Towards from the tree. The tree is singing.
What's going on?
You probably just need to like clasp his hands over his ears, and he probably would cast like light on the tree just to make it seem more obvious. Like, the singing, there's something singing.
The tree already has lights in its bark and stuff.
So it can. Do I recognize Gourd as like doing bullshit with the tree now?
Gourd, give me another wisdom saving throw as you look at this like cup of sap.
Okay.
But yes, you may. You know, everyone notices Gourd like on his knees staring at the tree.
Can I manifest my echo in front of him?
You can.
Yeah, just to like.
You're like
it's in his way.
There is. The thing is, your echo, does it have complete agency?
That's really pretty.
I mean, it does what I want it to.
Well, I mean, if he puts his hand through it, will it go through?
There's the thing.
But with a 27, Gourd, you're like, maybe not. I mean, maybe I should wait for everyone else and share. You manage to hold off for a minute, but the singing is lovely, and you kind of sit down, and everyone's looking at Gourd. He's like super relaxed, more relaxed than Moses is. Like,
meanwhile, Zedaar's, there's something singing. Singing.
And Ruby's gonna attack the tree.
Darius, I've had my hand up to do something. I'm throwing my dragon fire at the tree immediately.
Okay.
I'm literally not stop. I don't give a shit. This is weird. Zedaar looks freaked out. Gourd doesn't. That makes me more freaked out. I have my sword out and I'm throwing a flask of napalm at this ethereal tree. I want this fucking gone.
So you're doing that.
I just see like the hippie dude hanging out at a festival, the dude who's having a bad trip, and the police coming to storm the party. That's all that's happening right now.
Well, it's that Simpsons thing where Abe Simpson was just Abe Simpson was. I want to see the police beating up hippies to the sound of it's that montage.
Paid $500 for this weekend.
Okay.
I've been saving this fucking dragon fire.
He can't walk through your echo. That's fine.
No,
the echo. Well, that would phase it into the tree to be the thing, so it can be next to, and you can tell it to block.
That's why I was asking if it was like, do I notice it as he's walking over there? Because then I would.
No, not until your attention is pulled by Zedaar do you notice it fully. Which, but you can have it like there, ready to help.
Yeah.
Roach, give me an attack with the tree.
Okay, I think it's just a ranged attack because I don't have an attack.
It's an improvised. It's an improvised thrown weapon, so it's D20 plus your dex.
D20 plus my dex. I don't get proficiency.
Grenade out.
Granada!
Okay.
Throw the smoke.
Are you throwing a Molotov cocktail?
No,
this is worse.
This is dragonfly. That would be like a flask of oil or something like that, or whatever. A fire bottle. This is a special one I spent like 200 gold pieces on months ago that I kept.
Incendiary grenade.
Cocktail.
This is white phos
17.
he is throwing at this
Yeah,
tree.
this is white phosphorus. This doesn't stop burning. So it literally says on contact with oxygen, it solidifies and it goes on fire. So it's like
Okay.
And for reference, if you don't have the profile, it's 2d4 fire damage per turn for up to 1 minute. And they have to save against it, it says. It doesn't say what that what that save is.
As the attention is thrown to this and this fire grenade goes out and smacks onto the side of the tree, Zep finally looks away from his device. Zep, give me a quick artifice check on this tree.
Made of engines.
No.
Yeah, no, it turns out it's concentrated, like, just combustible material. It's just gonna...
This is so great.
It's just gonna be
Nice.
Sitting next to a nuke.
Something strange about this, and I have a flash of genius about what this actually is. 23.
Ah,
God.
nice.
Fucking love.
This, you noticed this instantly because of the color of the wood. You were kind of off put because, you know, mystery, you go into a hole of things, and now all of this is breaking out. This is a Feyheart tree, and this is a very rare and very useful tree in multiple things.
Not anymore.
The Feyheart wood is like prized by Fletchers and Boyers for like making bows. It also could like makes really good like magic wands, etc. It's like it is a prized set of lumber. You also know that its sap is highly hallucinogenic and is used in drug making, and it has the ability to try and it calls in mortals in and trying to get them to rest by the tree. They also the bark is also very poisonous, and it tries to get you to eat it quite a lot. But at the same time, if you sleep beneath them, it can sometimes give you a really like strong power of rest. And you're getting all of this in your head as you see a glass vial break on the side, and like it's sort of, you see this liquid solidify and then white and then acidize and then burst into flame, and the whole tree just ignites. Just all of it ruptures up.
Yeah, that's
I
sap.
need
Very
everybody within... What's the roll of this? 90 foot of the tree, which I think would be everyone except
That'd be everybody.
Zaraj, because she was at the other wall, to
You said
make...
90 foot.
Yes.
Is that not out the
To be
fucking
fair-
exit of the cave? 'Cause
True,
the
yes,
portal's
it is.
30 feet away.
We got a backdraft to come down.
When you spent 200 gold on this, and I heard it was 2d4 for a minute, I'm like, okay, that seems like a lot. Now I know why it was 200 gold.
Jesus.
No, well, this is another thing, but no, it's very good for what its purpose is.
We're all dead, mate.
Oh, it's not
fine.
all dead. But I need everyone... I need
Die.
everyone in that 90-foot radius to make a Constitution saving throw.
And that includes me as well,
No,
because 90 feet.
you're just out of it.
7.
Oh, never
Wait,
mind.
hold on a second. Can I? I feel like I would be rolling at disadvantage because I'm at the face of the tree.
I was about to say that. You are already
just grew your
enraptured
hair
by the
back.
tree.
You got an 11, mate. I don't think it matters.
You just grew your fur back
no,
in
but
from the
No,
last
it's-
time you were on fire.
What?
it can get worse.
It did.
It can get worse. It's great.
Ooh.
We all rolled like shit.
You know,
Oh
for
wait,
the split
sorry, I have to roll
second,
for Stone too. He's gets
Yeah.
the split second
Dex
before
is
everybody
plus
dies.
Dex save is +1, I believe.
Darius is very happy
Yep.
that he
Plus
saved.
DVs, that's 4. So
Sorry,
it's
what did you
that's
say,
a 20.
Ruby?
My fantasy grounds randomly just turned itself off. I'm relogging in right this second.
You can make a manual roll and let me know what it is.
Stone got a 20.
If you know your modifier. Actually, I can check your modifier. So
It's plus
just
6.
yeah.
Stone's gonna be the only one alive, pulling us all
You
out.
have
wait, don't you
proficiency.
stop!
You have proficiency in Constitution saves though, because you're a sorcerer. So it's.
Yeah, that's why it's 6.
Oh, sorry. I thought your charisma was higher.
Fun.
But yeah,
It is higher.
yeah. So give me a roll.
As soon as the loading, I have to watch all the files get loaded
That's
in.
why I said feel free to just manual dice it if you've got one to hand.
Oh, well, don't need to because I'm in now.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that
So-
tracks.
Manual.
You know, the funny thing is, this tree was starting to not do its job, but it still killed us in a roundabout way.
It didn't kill us. You killed us.
No,
I don't wanna
hang
hear it.
on, hang
I don't
on.
want to hear it from Ruby.
It's
Say, says
fine.
the fire mage to the fire grenadier.
It's done no
Don't hear
damage
from
to any
Ruby.
party member.
Oh dear. So
Gourd's damage immunities was cold too, by the way. So it's
cold,
not
cold.
fire.
Okay, well, psychic is gonna still hurt.
Oh, psychic.
Yes,
the
it's
tree has
a living
defenses.
tree. It's screaming in our brains.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. The singing turns to screaming as this immortal soul of a tree is flushed out by pure, burning, acidifying fire, and you take 25 points of psychic damage.
It's
If
wow.
you rolled less than an 18, which I think all of you did.
Everybody did. Nobody rolled above that except for Stone.
25. Oh, bye-bye, temp HP.
And then this tree, it like a match to flame, more so than that actually, more like a fire lighter to flame. This thing just goes up, and is very quickly turned into a burnt husk. Almost like the sap inside it is also very, very flammable, and it just... But you are no longer under any effect, Gourd, just as a thing. And the life of a very rare
fire.
no, it does burn out.
What was that?
Not me.
That was the tree. Well, technically, none of us got hurt by fire. We got hurt by psychic damage, so...
So they're like pulls his heads away, like there's blood on his hands, just kind of pulling out of the sides of his hair, the head.
I did not enjoy that.
Siraj, you turn around, your entire party have been like knocked to the floor with like nosebleeds. The tree is just gone. Even Braun is
These
sat there
people like
like
to frickin'
nursing a headache.
Wait, is he? Hang on, he might be immune to psychic.
Oh, is he immune to psychic? I didn't know if he was.
If he wasn't, it was
No,
just
he's
Braun has like a static effect in his voice for the next 20 minutes. It's just like slowly he's gonna
He's immune to
gonna
poison. but not
defrag.
psychic.
Yeah, I thought it was just poison because he is in essence just a standard being. But yeah.
So,
Use that wood.
Darius, can you please stop killing things that belong to Mother Nature?
That was gonna steal his blood.
Darius, I could cast banishment on the damn thing. That was
You didn't.
not necessary. No,
You didn't.
you acted impulsively again.
I would say that.
Talk coming from you, Beth, considering
Yeah.
you were saying, I'm just gonna throw a fireball at
No,
the tree.
I'm going to start casting a spell, and then Darius threw it.
I remember fire. We'll have to check the
Yeah,
file
I
on
remember
that.
fire as well.
Either way.
Judging
He
by
said
the
attack.
effect,
Zep.
judging by the effects, I would say that Darius also cast banishment.
It's gone. Yeah, it is definitely banished.
Dangerous
It's
trees
definitely
aside,
banished.
which you may be able to get in a supplement that I'm writing. There is
Can I
still a
move?
rushing river
Gourd
portal in
got
front
the
of you.
leaf full of sap in his lap.
Yes,
that still survived.
it did because he had taken it away.
Yeah, I was sitting in the lawn about to drink my
It's like, no, I'm gonna wait to share this
juice,
with
man,
everybody.
like-
I'm gonna share this with everyone, and then you look at it and you're like, oh god, what was I doing? Like, thought,
7.
So, do I know the
was
effects of
why.
that sap?
I'm gonna stand up.
you,
and I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
go,
said the sap
this
is
why
high.
I didn't want to do this.
The sap is very hallucinogenic.
And I'm gonna
I'm right
slip
with
into
you,
the ground.
Gourd.
Wait.
I'm gonna walk out.
Okay.
Come back on the wagon, my friend. You're
Wait,
doing
wait,
great.
because the actions are happening. Zep, what were you about to say?
Sorry, I apologize.
No, I was basically getting cut off as he just chucks the thing on the ground. It's kind of you could. Never mind.
I mean, the sap it's not water. It's semi-solid, so it's whilst on the floor
Okay.
could be somewhat recoverable.
This is hallucinogenic. If people have a use for this, they
Also,
need to be carefully contained.
it's a hallucinogenic that affects Fae. Just to stress that one.
Zeb, could I tip arrows with this hallucinogenic and shoot people with it to give them hallucinations?
Quite possibly, yeah. If you use it like a resin or something like this.
I have a bunch of vials because I remember buying a bunch of vials, getting annoyed that we didn't have a bunch of vials. So I'm gonna try and get a vial of it.
Make a quick survival check to see how much you get. Well, actually, no. Give me a D20 roll. Just a D20 luck check.
Can I assist with this because this stuff is fascinating?
You may.
Have Valmyr do that.
Because he's the one who had the vials.
What is going on?
Well, he has advantage because I'm assisting, so you can
Yes,
roll it again.
roll it again.
Okay, thank you.
Please.
Hey, let's go.
Okay.
God.
You managed to scrape one full vial of put down Feyheart resin.
Sick.
While this is going on, Zedaar's pulled out a healer's kit and is trying to patch himself up.
Yeah, you're just like
Bandage around his
dabbing your nosebleed, and yeah, it's like burst eardrum kind of pain.
That's 16 back to me.
Do you guys wish to follow the tracks over the river now that they're done exploding everything?
How far across is the river?
30 foot.
I'll go ahead and use a charge for everyone who took that, by the way. So just go ahead and everybody start taking your... If we just use that for everybody, 16 points of healing.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will spend a minute casting Mend on Ron.
So
I actually marked off one for Braun because I thought I could heal him, but if I can't, I'll take that one charge back.
You can heal Braun. It's just Braun is also affected by mending as well.
You do have mending, so you know what? It would be more sensible just mend him together because that works more efficiently.
And while I have the blowtorch out and I am healing up some of the rifts in his ears, I can get us across that bridge. It will not take me very long. I just need a large platform of some kind, but I can make this, no problem.
Sure, just let me patch everybody up a little bit.
Okay.
Can I test my echo across the river and then swap places with it?
Yes. What's the distance on your... Because I don't think actually you can.
Oh, no, within 15 feet of you.
Yeah, you'd be in the center of the stream.
That's not...
No, give it a shot. Just do it twice before you fall.
You could Misty Step, however.
Yeah.
I'm all across this way.
Sure, we know how spells interact over a portal.
I would like to climb on the wall and follow the exact tracks that the lizard took so that I don't go too close to the river, because I have a climb speed.
What is your climb speed?
15 feet.
This isn't an easy climb. So
Double check.
This would be difficult unless there's something in your rangerness that negates this. It will still require a roll to just climb it, because it's essentially a flat wall. It's not like it's got some grooves and some things, but it's by no means an outcropping or anything. It's almost like that this creature could walk much like a spider.
So my climb speed 20 feet. And do you want for a climb check acrobatics?
Acrobatics would be fine, or athletics, either, whichever you wish to use.
If you fall in this fucking...
Yeah, are we sure we before we commit? Are we sure we want to pursue right now? Right now, we've proven they're not here at the entrance, so they are in the Underdark on a mount that can travel in the Underdark very quickly. So I'm just saying, the whole reason we decided to come here was that we'd have a chance of getting them immediately if they were camping nearby. But that's not the case right now. Do we want to pursue?
Well, Bahamut is the god of Zedaar, and he said that we could learn of knowledge here.
I think we've learned. I think we've learned some knowledge here today.
I don't believe that this is the knowledge we came here to learn. We don't care about a portal to the Feywild. We care about assassination on the king.
Just because I know I want to express some stuff because, events happened. You haven't investigated this side of the river yet, outside of if there were tracks. just to calm everyone's roll a little bit, because of course Gourd was almost abducted by a tree. So you have just to reset the pace and let everyone breathe that sigh of relief past a screaming, dying tree. I'm gonna go around quickly. Let's do this one by one. Ruby, what are you doing?
Honest to God, she's just standing there watching.
Okay. Darius, what are you doing?
I'm gonna roll an investigation check.
Cool.
I'm gonna try and find. I guess if I'm going specific, like since I'm trying to make it close to what I would know or what Darius would know, like signs of encampment,
sure,
or things like that, just like telltale signs. Yeah, no, never. Yeah, I'll do that. But I would suggest somebody look for like marks of crampons and stuff, like in the wall, if they used like climbing equipment or anything like that for.
Well, I found the
things.
creature tracks on the wall.
Yeah, I'm saying is if this is like well traveled, or if this is like a small thing, because if there's crampons or there's some like they're trying to climb over or something like that without going over there, like it would be something. But I rolled shitty anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Darius, you don't really find much. You're kind of like you're still on edge. You think there's fairies around every corner at the moment.
They're gonna steal all my blood.
I'll go to Valmyr. What are you doing?
I'm mostly looking at the river, the bridge, anything over the river, seeing if there is ways to.
Give me a perception check.
Yeah, making me roll again. That's not fair. Jesus fucking Christ!
It's almost like we rolled dice to play this game. Remember?
This.
It's almost like I'm bad at that.
You take a quick look at the bridge and the water. The water is a crystal blue clear as well, like so clear that you can see the stone beneath, or like the bottom of the cavern. And this is like shaped by the water, but like the stone is like. Have you ever seen cut onyx, where it's like or flint, where it like shears off?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like flint, but these stones wouldn't break like flint. It's because it's just been transitively cut rather than it like water erosion that it's missing. And you also look at the bridge itself, and you see, even with that roll, you see like tooling and hammer marks, like that someone has fallen this bridge into the transitive river rather than natural. And then, like, it shears off. So it's like they've done enough to change the angle of it that the river then breaks it, kind of thing. This has been sabotaged. Gourd.
Can I?
Oh,
no, I would like to cast Mage Hand. I'd like to give my Mage Hand a vial and just see how possible it would be to try and get a vial of the river water.
I need to check something about Mage Hand. But Gourd, what are you doing?
After I kind of dropped the cup down and I would have, walked past Zedaar and, thanked him, and then headed over towards the river's edge, back to my original intent before I got dragged to the tree. So.
Okay. What are you doing at the river's edge?
I was gonna have Stone follow me, and then I was gonna have him fly across to the other side.
Okay.
And then I was going to myself Misty Step to the other side.
Okay, you can do that. And you get over. Stone, it's a little tight because as this gets to the river, the ceiling kind of comes down, so it's not as like easy as the rest of this chamber because it's naturally formed but also unnaturally formed. But it gets across, no problem. Valmyr, the Mage Hand dissipates as it is carried more than 30 feet away from you to a different plane. And then, so the hand goes, and then the vial goes,
It was just an experiment. I wasn't expecting to be able to keep that vial. It's fine. I've got 8 more.
Zedaar, what are you doing?
Zedaar's just been going around, make sure everybody gets patched up at the
Sure.
healer feet, but then he'll dedicate the rest of the time because he said he has an idea of maybe how to get across this, so he is just going to help him find what he needs.
Yeah, Zep, what are you doing? I'm guessing, constructing yourself a platform that you're then going to levitate?
Yeah, so what I have done is I have taken Braun's tower shield as a base and then put extra bits of wood around it to enlarge it to be about 10 foot squared or something like this. And then I'm going to take a large package from out of my bag and attach it underneath. And then I'm going to very tentatively light it and then jump back as the thing roars to life and starts to pull away from the ground, creating a levitating platform.
Yeah, you can definitely do that, and using crispy bits of Feybark tree, you can definitely get the extra wood without costing you anything.
Can Ruby stand on that and get assistance to get across?
Yeah, well, it will carry probably 2 people at a time across.
Yeah, 500 pounds.
That'll work.
Zedaar.
Especially, sorry, if I can just...
continue.
Because we have the stone across the thing already. If he could carry a bit of rope across, then we can use the rope to pull the levitated platform.
Yeah, that works. Stone can back and forth.
Yeah, I could. Well, yeah, I mean, if before he flew off, I could have just had him do that if you wanted to communicate that to me before.
Yep.
Because we're all kind of, working kind of almost at the same time.
Ziraj, are you still attempting to climb?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Was that acrobatics or athletics?
Up to you.
Great.
However you would like to do this.
You have climb speed. You just walk across the ceiling.
Thank fuck.
24.
Okay. Without issue, you find little nubbins and bits of rock to just... It's a little bit slower than, like, you're not a monk. You're not, like, wall walking. But you on all fours kind of... If you've ever seen a cat, like, run up the side of a building to get to, like, a first story bit and then run up to the rest to get up to the roof, kind of like that, and you get yourself across. At this time, as you look back, there is Zep and Ruby being pulled along by the dragon across on this levitating platform.
She's got a climb speed.
Just for it's more, yeah. That wouldn't matter. It's just the wall is a bit like that and smooth, smoothish. I take it was Ruby and Zep were going to go first. Feel free to change that if that's if.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Just out of due to this space, can you give me a athletics or acrobatics check from Stone for them to navigate holding this in their talons or mouth as they drag it to either not drag themselves towards the water or I know the levitation stays at 1 level, doesn't it?
Well, I can just put a hook on the platforms, then you pull in the platform itself instead of us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like levitate. Does it try to stay at 1 level, like constant?
I can control that. It can go up to 20 feet up.
Okay, so it's more for Stone, just in his own trying to agility that he doesn't accidentally career towards the water. This is a low DC, but it's just it's not an easy space and it's not an easy task.
And Braun's holding the other length of rope from behind us.
It's going to be a d20 plus 3, and then 22.
It's fine. And with a 22, I will say that you can do that back and forth. He learns the path relatively fine. It's a fixed angle, and you can all be across.
I am not getting on the thing. I'm not levitating.
Okay, those of you who aren't, what are you doing?
Saying goodbye to Valmyr because apparently
did Zedaar get over?
Yeah.
Zedaar, I need your guidance. Can I?
You can't.
I can do that from over here.
How? What's your distance on your guidance?
That's a touch. That's a touch
He
spell.
literally raises his hands up and claps them together.
Does anybody have a spell cantrip that they can cast on me that won't hurt me?
Oh, for the love of...
You want me to shoot you with an arrow? And
Ruby
Amar's
just
like,
points
knock
at
it back.
Valmyr and says, "Fly," and she casts fly on him.
Oh, thank God.
Instead of flying, I teleport to you.
Okay.
That's the point. No, I'm using my glaive's special ability, which is to teleport next to somebody who casts a spell on me.
Do you have high dex?
You could have.
That's why I was asking for a cantrip. No.
Still kind of want to
Beat
shoot
him
you
with
for
a
wasting the
fireball.
spell slot, but okay.
Look,
Hold on, no. I'll thorn whip him.
Pull him into the
Range of
water.
30 feet.
Yeah, doesn't that move?
It has a range of 30 feet. It
It
does.
does.
no.
To be fair,
I get
Valmyr
on
was
the-
very, very
I don't
specific.
go over water, especially not water that brings me to the fucking Feywild.
Well, either way, you've still got fly cast on you now for an hour.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it an hour?
10
Right?
minutes.
10 minutes, sorry. 10 minutes. You can fly for 10 minutes. What's Darius doing?
I was under the impression we were going to search the cavern and then make a decision, not all go over, because again, the whole reason we're here is to kill the people that killed the king and stuff like that.
Yeah, and their
But they're
tracks
not
are
here.
over here. Their tracks,
Yes, on a mount that can travel, what was it, 80 feet or something like that? Like, it has a ridiculously high movement speed in the Underdark. We're not catching up
probably
on foot.
incinerated any evidence that would have been in this cavern, Darius. You are in no position to
Darius, while this is all going on, if you're staying on that side, I will allow you to do another investigation check.
I'm waiting for them to do an investigation check on the other side of the damn
Okay.
cavern. That's what I was waiting for one person to
Start
do.
working on that, Darius.
Okay, they've
I'm
only...
not the one who put
That's
me
fine,
on the
it's
spotlight
fine.
right now.
I was just wondering because he's there. That's
that.
fine. If that's what you're waiting for, that is okay. Guys, on the other side, what are you doing?
I'm
Does this cavern
investigating.
Go any further?
Go for it,
I am
Zep.
helping Zep.
Go for it with advantage, Zep.
Does the cave go any deeper?
Yes, there is a... the reason you crossed it is because there is another pathway down.
I would like to tentatively explore, but not too far that I'm straying away from the group.
21. Okay. With the 21, as you see Valmyr walk towards the extended pathway, Zep, you see... You think it's a button. Not like a press button, but like a clothing button that's been sheared off. Garb that matches the leathers, again, of the people that you faced before. And with that roll as well, you notice that there is a second set of dust prints. So this group have come off the wall, and then it seems like something else in the same spot as the finishing climbing has created another set of dust, like travel dust, and goes towards the water edge.
There seem to be two groups here. One is gone that way, and the other one seems to have gone to the water here. You can see there's a button. One of them has lost. It looks very similar to the drow clothing that we have seen earlier.
Do a survival check to differentiate if the tracks are like humanoid or
Yeah, go for it.
lizard mount.
I'll assist.
Cool. So that's advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That's very bad.
That's not too bad, honestly.
Better than the two.
You remember that two drow left on this beast. You surmise by the weight shift that the entity that made a second landing is smaller. Therefore, it seems like one, after climbing the wall, dismounted. And then went towards the water's edge, whilst the other carried on towards where Valmyr is going. Valmyr, as you get to the tunnel, you see that it starts to drop severely. And you recognize this instantly. This is a tunnel to the Underdark.
I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right.
We were right.
We were
Ooh.
right. Yeah, we were right.
Valmyr,
Yeah. Oh fuck.
I need to check this.
Oh, big fuck.
Well, hey, at least look at the right side. I was right, or not a bad choice of last. Damn it! I was right. It's not a bad last line of words.
I told you so.
What are you gonna do? Make me roll for it?
You hear a voice.
Don't say that.
Darius was right too.
And I need you also to make a wisdom saving throw at the same time for something else.
All of us?
No, just Valmyr. Just Valmyr.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's fine. I got really great wisdom. I got this. This is.
Gourd had one too.
Yeah, no, it's a 1.
Okay. Valmyr, you feel as this voice appears in your mind, you feel a paralysis take over your body. And you hear this voice. If it weren't for our blood, I could give you a cracking smile, my brother. You would look much, much more beautiful. And then you are held there, and you see, with your dark vision, an individual in shadow run down the far end of the decline. And the rest of you do notice Valmyr is suddenly stopped.
Yeah, we were right. I knew it.
There's also one other element to that message. You get another one just as you are released, which says, "Our father sends his regards." But Zep is like, we knew it.
Oh boy.
So Valmyr just goes stone stiff out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Look, I'm faced away from you. You can't see that.
It's a good thing that he's wearing baggy pants.
It's a side effect of paralysis. It's just a side effect of paralysis.
All the blood just
Paralysis lasts more than 4 hours. Call a doctor.
Hold person holds your person. But you are released from the magical bonds. And, yeah.
Something mage hand, something stranger, something.
Oh, no.
All right.
Valmyr, what are you doing? Because it's by the time that you guys are like, Valmyr, are you? You go over to him, he kind of shakes out of it, and he hears this again.
The fact that he's mentioned our father is making me very hesitant right now.
Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, Valmyr, but did you not tell me that you, and I quote, killed our father?
How
killed
would
your
you
father?
Know that he said that?
I didn't
He's
say
thinking
that.
this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
This is Lambert working with what I've just given him.
Sure. My bad. Sorry.
Valmyr, you alright?
No. We should leave.
You look a little stiff.
We should leave. Now.
You realize it is okay to be right once in a while. It should not affect you like this.
We need to go. And I'm gonna...
You were adamant beyond belief that we come here. Why must we leave now?
I don't respond and I fly across the river.
Or do you?
Wait, do I not see him hesitate going over water?
Yeah, no hesitation over the water.
No,
just
I'm just
flies up.
going.
I make mental note of that, but do not acknowledge it publicly.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
There's like
In my
drop
mind,
sand.
I am readying Misty Step just in case the fly stops.
So what? We just leave now? This is our dead end?
So I
I've not
You-
acknowledged
you-
directly that I've walked out of the cave.
But for those who want to try an insight, you may, if you feel like you would have noticed the physical change in Valmyr. I would say Gourd and Zedaar is the most perceptive. Might be on that. Probably slowly followed by Zeb, because your passive perception's okay, I think. Oh, actually, no, Zaraj, what's your passive perception? I haven't really learned that yet.
14.
Okay.
14.
So anyone with a passive perception of 15 or higher, I would say, would pick up on the
Me,
sudden
I'm
change.
You'll probably see my fingers.
Brawnwood.
Oh, it's Brawnwood. Roll one for Brawn then.
Can I just like take my passive perception as my roll?
No.
Yeah, I know.
Because this is noticing something and then going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zedaar's just sitting around like,
He was so willing to agree with Bahamut that this was the deity-ordained right path to take, and now he's just bailing on it? That
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Something's very much up, Zedaar.
no, Zedaar didn't need a roll to understand something's up with that. I asked God. God
Yeah, the
said, come
DC
here. And he's like, no, God said, I'm right, so we're doing it.
The DC should be like 2.
I would think we are not alone.
Well, I saw the tracks. One went into the water and one went down this way. And you had mentioned closing the portal. And I was wondering if you can do that, Ruby?
I might be able to.
Gourd, would you come? And Zedaar's just gonna like cast light on his holy symbol, light up the hallway, and he's just gonna make his way down towards Valmyr was.
I'm following as well.
He didn't get that far down, but it is pitch dark, like super dark down there.
So I cast light on himself.
Yeah, you get to where he was. Nothing off about exactly where it's standing.
Any recent footprints, tracks, anything down here?
Nope. Well, I mean, make an investigation check, but none at first glance.
Investigation.
Ruby, you want to go about trying to dispel the portal?
Would like to make the attempt, yes.
So
give me a dispel magic. What level of?
Well, I'm sorry. Is it? Do I get?
Sorry. Go, Ruby.
Given her understanding of magic, does this look like something she could feasibly do?
Give me a quick charisma check for Ruby. Just
charisma. Okay.
Yeah, there's a reason for this.
I don't know, Beth. How big is Ruby's ego?
This is what this is. Ruby's like, Ruby's like, I've never tried. Kind of want to show everybody off. You're gonna give it. You'd be inclined to give it a go, even if it doesn't work. Unless you feel personally that you want to reserve the spell slots for something else.
No, she'll try to dispel it.
What level are you trying to dispel magic?
Let's do it at 4.
Okay.
I hang out behind her, like hiding, like behind her, like her robe.
Okay, I need you to make a check on this. Roll on this.
What kind of check am I making?
Spell 4 for 5.
If it's dispel magic and I'm casting something of higher level, then it's just charisma. But...
Yeah, it's a charisma. It's a DC plus the spells level. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your spellcasting ability here.
16.
Feel it?
Flash of genius. You should try this. Oh no, I'm investigating. Never mind. I'm not aware she's doing this.
I'm nearby, aren't I?
What's the range on Flash of
we went down the
Genius?
tunnel.
Is there a range on Flash of Genius?
Yeah, but I don't think I would have noticed that she was doing this because I'm investigating my own
We're
stuff.
standing where Valmyr was, and all of us noticed him just standing there.
And he did say it wasn't that far down.
You're in visual range, so how is there a range on Flash of Genius? Or is that will? And also, is this because this isn't ability? Yeah, this is an ability check, is it? It's an ability. Yeah, this is an ability check, so it would apply.
30 feet is the range.
Probably just out of range. But
We'll just say that I didn't notice, because like I said, like we're investigating a dark area right now.
Sure.
And you already rolled anyways, so pretty good one too.
Yeah, but I can say after the roll. Before it's announced. But
You
after the
feel
roll.
your magic go, and the water level lessens, but then comes back up, and you feel like it's possible, but you failed that time. Not by much either.
I think I'm on the right track. I just need to... And she'll focus herself. And... Do I want to try it? I want to double check to see if it would even work. Will heighten work?
Mm-hmm.
It's a creature to make a saving throw, not a spell effect. So I guess heighten wouldn't work.
No.
Special circumstance, though.
Did we let Zep also check it out? He is very intelligent.
He might be able to help. Zap, can you give me some assistance with this?
Yeah, what's he trying to do?
With the investigations, can you quickly roll those for those that are there?
We did.
It's fine. Oh, did you? I see insights. I don't see. Oh, there's a
23.
Zep 23. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any footsteps here. There is not even a. It's weird. It's kind of like nothing is here right now. It's too clean.
I might be able to dispel this, but it's giving me some resistance.
I do not believe that I have dispel magic for some. Oh, it's too high level.
No. Perhaps some of your insights.
Yeah, I mean, I know all about weird magical anomalies and things like this, so maybe simply the insights I can provide would assist, even if my magical power does not.
Mm-hmm. Ruby's going to cast it again at 4th level.
Okay.
Do I have advantage on this, or just from Flash of Insight? Flash of Genius, excuse me.
I think you have advantage, but I think Zep can apply a Flash of Genius if he needs to.
Yeah, I will.
Well,
Flash of Brilliance, isn't it? I think.
Genius.
24.
29.
The river levels disappear, and a cavernous crack about 15 foot deep, 30 foot across, is left in this space with a broken bridge across it. At the bottom left from where you're standing, left corner, there is a now wilting flower.
I nature check that flower.
I would like.
I got it. Got it.
It was very impressive. I know how big a pool of magic this was, and for you to have extended such, you are more powerful than I'd realized, Ruby.
Or just lucky.
You don't know what it is, Zaraj.
I wanna
You can guess though
again,
it's
use
not
that.
of this plane, considering the environment you're in.
Also, Zep, Ruby blushes just a little bit.
Gourd.
I'm gonna have Stone smell the rag again and see if he can pick up any scent going down that tunnel.
Sure. Give me a perception check. With Gourd. Gourd? with... Nah.
Yeah.
Again, he's like...
Nah, mate.
Not is that realm of expertise, really.
Yeah. Alright, he needs more training.
Don't we all?
With the river dispelled and Valmyr exiting the cave, we're at the end of our episode tonight, friends. A lot of progress has been made in the investigations. Some questions have been answered, more have been left open. But without further ado, we need to end tonight's episode, and all I've got left to do is thank everyone who's been here. So thank you to DM Opal, DM Lake, Kinda Odder, Commissar Roach, Lord Lambert, Mordred Viking, and Ghibli Jam. The whole crew is here for once. This is the first time we've had everyone here for an episode. How crazy is that with the new inflated party size? I've been Mitch Man. This has been the Component Cast, and we will see you next time. Definitely check out tomorrow. We have another part of our new Zweihander campaign, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.